after being damaged colliding with a drone. And speaking of grounded flights, more than 1,700 are canceled by a winter storm snarling travel across the south. Parts of Texas got almost a foot of snow. Storm warning stretch from there all the way across to Georgia and the Carolinas, Virginia, over to Kentucky and Tennessee. It is sentencing day in New York for President-elect Trump, who will appear virtually at
9:30 Eastern time for those 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. But Judge Juan Merchan has indicated he will not give Trump jail time, fines, or probation. The incoming president tried to stop this sentencing from moving forward, but the Supreme Court denied that request.
Fox's Brooke Singman. Now, the court suggested that the Trump appeal, which he plans to, calling the case a disgrace and a witch hunt. Former President Jimmy Carter has been laid to rest in Plains, Georgia, next to his wife, Rosalind, after a funeral at the National Cathedral. President Biden delivered the eulogy, calling Carter a man of character.
It's the strength to understand that everyone should be treated with dignity, respect.
America's listening to Fox News.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Xtra. We made it to Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And it's Snowpocalypse Day. You know,
Snowpocalypse.
That's right. So be ready. Be scared. Be very scared. Be very afraid. Ooh, Joe bored up Joey. You can't see him right now, but he's doing the, like you would do as a child.
Yeah.
Like at Halloween or
with
something.
your little twinkle fingers.
Yeah. I don't know why that's the universal ghost thing. You know, I remember doing that as a kid.
What the Crypt Creeper did in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. That's exactly right, dude.
It's like a haunting thing, apparently. If you put your hands up and twiggle your fingers or whatever you call it. Wiggle your fingers.
Joe, we're gonna start the we're gonna start the show with a call. Joe, who are you telling me is on the phone?
I think it's your cousin.
My cousin Curtis?
I think it's your cousin Curtis that's on the phone.
Cousin Curtis?
No way. Curtis, what's up, man?
Hey, Tug, how you doing? You made it, man.
Oh, Cousin Curtis. I am so happy to have you on the phone with us this morning. We've talked so much about you. How are you? Are you actually out of, let's call it prison, wherever you've been?
Detention.
They call it being locked down around here, Rhino, but I'll tell you, I'm as free can get, especially right now.
Yeah. He's like the song Freebird. He's free as a bird now. Play it pretty for Atlanta, Curtis.
Hey, Tug, I didn't really mean to do this for you to start the show, but I just want to see, can I borrow $1,000? I got a little bit of an issue going on.
Buddy, I got it tied up right now. I got $20,000 tied up in the bathroom.
You made it. You made it, Tug.
I know, but I can't help you, and I'm sorry, man. I think there's that payday loan place there on Walnut Avenue in Dalton. You can probably get it.
Well, I'm going to go have to sell another kidney. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Curtis.
Who knew?
You know, Curtis, if you, I know he hung up, but if you could get across the moat,
buddy,
you might find the pot of gold over there at Tubbs.
Ain't no pot of gold, I promise you.
I don't know if he's going to get home.
Ain't no, now that's
there's no pot of gold.
There's no.
You're trying to hide it in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I tied it up. I used it in the bathroom and got nothing for it. Let me tell you.
Stay safe out there, Cousin Curtis.
That's right. Be safe, buddy. I mean, lawsuit pending and everything. It'll be.
Man, you know what? I think I like Cousin Curtis a lot,
dude. Cousin Curtis.
I'd love to hang out with Cousin Curtis.
He'll show you his tattoo.
Yeah.
It's got your name tattooed on his arm.
It's got my name.
Yeah, that's right. You lift it up and it says your name. Holy cow. Dude, Rhino showed us these. Thank you, Curtis, man. We love you. Appreciate you listening this morning, too. I hope he calls back.
I hope he drives safe.
I hope he calls back more often.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that he could have figured out the number?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing. Figuring out the phone number to the radio station.
He gets one call, and apparently they listen up there,
That's right.
which is great. He knew my name right away. I was like, this is fantastic. He's a big listener.
Well, my cousin. So this is the truth. My cousin Andrew, my cousin Greg, my cousin Kenny, and I'm leaving somebody out. My cousin Brittany. All listen to the show.
Yeah.
Now Brittany lives here local.
Yeah.
You know, but
you've got to meet Brittany.
Yeah, she's a
Beautiful
doll, and her
family. God,
husband
they're
Mike, terrific,
fantastic people.
But everybody else up in my Uncle Michael. I mean, everybody. There's a lot of people that don't listen. I'm not kidding.
Good morning, Dalton.
I'm not kidding you.
I love Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite places. Like when I'm driving through, or going up to Chattanooga area or whatever. I love that area up there.
When I was little up there, I mean, the thought of drinking a beer was like that. You're on a grease pole to hell.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is just. That's just, there's no stopping you.
Yeah.
No stopping you. I mean, dude, it's gone. Now they have 2 breweries in downtown Dalton. Like the Cherokee, one's called Cherokee Brewery or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, and I forget. You'll have to forgive me. I can't remember the name of the other one. But there's 2. I couldn't believe it. And do you remember?
Satan's got 2 footholds down there in
Yes, he
Dalton.
does. Let me tell you, he's getting a grip on people and won't let it loose. You remember when Frank Thomas? There was he was doing a 404 vodka.
Yep.
And we would see him here in the office here at Dickey Broadcasting occasionally, and I don't know whatever happened to that. But interesting enough. His 404 vodka was distilled in Dalton at that Cherokee Brewery.
That's pretty.
I was like, hang on.
Hold on one second. How'd you get
what?
Yeah.
Who in Dalton knows how to do that? And then I'm surprised they would allow it. You know what I mean? I'm just they're growing up a little bit.
It is a weird thing because like Hiawassee for a long time, you'd have to drive to North Carolina just to get alcohol, and that was up to last year.
Because it was a dry county, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and there were referendums to say, hey, we should have a liquor store here. We shouldn't have people driving over to North Carolina across the border, grabbing liquor, coming home, and
the tax dollars. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So. Now, within a year, there are 3 liquor stores in Little Hiawassee.
They're like, let's go!
And they're all doing pretty well.
I bet they are. That's so funny. My buddy, Benny Cho, he's the one that I work with at Textile Rubber and Chemical Company right before I left Dalton to go in the Navy, and he's the one that was like, oh, maybe Navy. He gave me as a gift was soap, and he was like, don't drop it.
Oh, yeah, don't drop that. Put a rope on it.
Dude, it did.
Yeah.
It totally did. He had
good.
drilled a hole in it. It's funny you say that. I didn't even thought about it, but you're exactly right. He did, and it was like this yellow rope. It was so funny. But Benny owned a liquor store in Dalton. It was up off Cleveland Highway. And one time, me and a buddy of mine, we were going to have some cold pops. It was either a Friday or a Saturday night. Laura's pregnant with Jacob.
Yeah.
And we go into Benny's shop because I knew Benny, so I always went there after I got out of the Navy. And Laura, like I said, she was showing. You could tell that that she was pregnant. And we went in there to buy whatever we were buying, and he was like, "I can't sell you this." And I was like, "Well, Benny, what? What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Your wife's pregnant. She ain't drinking this. Isn't that on my conscience?" He's like, "I'm not selling you this," and he didn't.
Good for him.
He did not sell us anything because my wife was pregnant, and he was afraid she would drink it.
Really? That's pretty impressive.
Swear to
you. Know what? I kind of like that because, when I was younger, it was, there's no way you could go. I could go into a liquor store at like 14 and they'd be like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Wait, you shouldn't be selling this to me. New York." They didn't care. Like, grab a pack of cigarettes, too.
That's right. We're trying to get long-term customers.
Right, this is for my dad, but he doesn't smoke. Now you should start. Here you go.
You should do it, too.
Yeah, let's build a customer base.
I love it. I love it.
Man.
So what do we know about the snow so far? I mean, when I left Alpharetta this morning about, I think we left at 4:30, it was 33 degrees, and then as we came over to the ballpark here, Marietta Dickey Broadcasting at Truist Park, Battery, Atlanta, it was 36.
35.
So at least on my 35 or 36, like I think it said 36 on the dash of the car, but yeah, I don't know. So I had to take a peek right now.
Yeah.
Because I know
it's going to drop.
Yeah, for sure.
It won't get again till probably around noon, they say, below freezing. So we're going to have David Chanley on of Fox 5 fame, a great weatherman, one of my favorites, of course.
University of Georgia graduate. How about them?
Yeah, so we'll get more information from him a little bit later on. But yeah, it was weird this morning because I woke up and the first thing I did was look at the radar before I even looked outside, and I saw all this blue over me, and I'm like, oh gosh, it came in early.
You thought
it came in early.
Christmas.
I'm in trouble.
That's right.
And then I looked out the window and I was like, it's not even a drop of rain, sleet, or anything. And then, I go and listen to, another station real quick to see what they're saying.
Yeah, see the panic.
Oh,
everybody panic!
It's 35 here, but it's sleeting. It's sleeting. It's starting already, and blah, blah, blah. Expect your power lines to fall, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen later on in the afternoon.
But I mean, come on.
Already.
Why are we panicking now?
Yeah, and look, if you don't have to go anywhere today, it's probably a good idea.
Sure. Our office went virtual, and most everybody is staying home today, and rightfully so. But we'll keep an eye to it and see what we get.
Yeah.
My wife is convinced we're getting 8 to 10 inches or something like that.
Oh no!
Like she's got her little weather bug.
She's off the rocker there.
I know that. I've tried.
We're not going to get an inch.
Right, exactly.
Here.
Right.
Now back at home, you might get an inch and a half.
In Alpharetta, or Cumming, where Lowe's lives, or wherever. Yeah,
sure.
Then north of there, Hiawassee, where you are, probably won't get a little.
Yeah, they say about 2 to 3 inches, and I've been checking my cameras up there on the property. There's not even a drop yet there either.
But I'm not kidding. Her little weather bug. I think it's weather bug, Chaz. She was like last night right before we went to bed, and we went to bed. It was the second quarter had just started of Notre Dame, Penn State, which Notre Dame won. We went to bed, and she was like, Jared, look. It says, 6 to 8 inches of snow, or 8 to 10 inches of snow, whatever it was. And I was like, Laura, sweetheart.
You said, go to bed, woman.
I know, baby. That's not right. I mean, I'm not trying to bust you up, but she was so excited.
She's like, I'm from upstate New York. I know these things.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And she was like,
she feels it in her bones.
Well, she was so excited because she loves snow.
Yeah,
she
me too.
loves it. Jacob loves it. You love it.
I wanted to wake up to a blanket this morning.
Joe loves it too. I hate it with everything that is me. I don't want any part of it. I don't like to look at it.
Yeah.
Pictures is fine with me. You send me a pretty picture of it, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I don't want no part of it. I'm going to stay away from it. I'll steer clear of it.
Every time I see snow, I think of it's like a Bob Ross painting to me.
Yes, of course.
I'm like,
yes,
right. I can't wait for it. And, I grew up in New Hampshire in the mountains there. And that's a different kind of snow. I mean, that's like...
Thick, heavy.
Oh, it's so heavy, but it's beautiful because most of those are pines and
those things will snap,
and those
though.
Birches. Oh yeah, well they're so strong. I don't know how they take these covers and blankets.
Well,
there's like a foot of snow on each tree. It's amazing and it's beautiful.
It's probably the soil more than anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That red clay. Really just those roots just slip out of there.
Yeah, up there. Most of that is there's a lot of rock. Obviously, it's a mountain, so you're gonna have a lot of rock. So the roots and everything get between those, and they kind of hold up better. But it's just beautiful the way they cap those trees. And I've always loved it. But yeah, I mean, if you have to drive in it or, you're in a city, it's not as fun.
Tell me what Liam said when y'all think about going up to, tell you've already told me, told everybody.
Yeah, so we're going up to Hiawassee and we're thinking about going up last night. And then I was like, I don't know. I could do it from remote up there and that would be fine. But I just don't want to think about, having to be stuck there for 3 days. It's like, but Dad, I really want to go sledding and we got a good hill. And I go, son, it's a mountain.
We got a good hill, he says.
A good hill. It's a mountain.
He's got a good hill.
I think he meant one side of the property behind I have like a kind of a storage barn.
Yeah.
And behind that, it just goes straight up.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's clear because I cut 100 trees out of there to kind of build
I remember y'all doing that a few years ago.
So, I mean, it's a great sledding hill. Now, he would probably hit the bottom where I built my fire pit, which is now a ramp to the roof of the storage shed. So, in his mind, I'm thinking, he's got this pretty cool
jumping
trick.
over it.
Yeah. His Dukes of Hazzard thing. Winter Dukes of Hazzard.
That's right. That's so good. And then, Rhino was telling me that his girlfriend, Erin, her mama was coming home from Argentina, right? Which where your girlfriend's brother lives.
So basically, it's a 24-hour travel from her brother's house, Justin, from his house to her house up in Cherokee County. It's about a 24-hour trip. So we started planning yesterday because she's like, oh, she's never going to get an Uber tomorrow morning. And if you're going to go into the office, we need to make plans. So we started making plans, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take Stray Dog. That's one of our four-wheel drive Jeeps. And I'm like, I'll take Stray Dog down.
Stray Dog. That's a great name.
He's awesome.
Stray Dog.
And I'll take that. And if I have to, then I'll run down if she can't get an Uber out of the airport. So I'm making all these plans, and I'm telling Liam, hey, when you wake up, just so you know, here's what you need to do. I'm going to have to go to the airport probably. I mean, I just assume with weather that an Uber driver's not going to take her all the way back. So we're going to go.
So, intense
2
planning.
hours, man.
Yeah.
We planned everything. And then Aaron goes, oh, wait. She's not coming in until Saturday.
Oh, we're all good. Just all this planning for nothing. Just like, oh my gosh, what do we? Just the fight to get to the airport and just the fight back home to Cherokee County. Good Lord, for no reason.
And I was panicking. I'm like, I don't want to drive down to the airport.
Yeah, no, because I
don't want to do this. And I'm thinking, no, wait, it's not going to be comfortable in the Jeep. I could take white power, my hybrid Ford Maverick, but put stuff. So I started actually putting like firewood in the back of it. I was like,
weight down the back.
Yeah, because we brought firewood up to the house for the next 2 days. So I was like, I'll put some more weight in the back, even though it's a battery. So that thing's so heavy.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
So I'm like, it'll be heavy enough. And I started, and then after doing all that and running through, I find out, she's not coming until Saturday.
Scrap it. We're good. It reminds me of a story that Jacob my son works at Onward Reserve up at Avalon. And the lady that runs it, that I've known for years, her name is Donna. And I worked with her husband for a long time. And she was telling me about this guy that's about Jacob's age that works in there. And she said he's just such a quirky kid.
Yeah.
It's everything he does is quirky. The way he walks, the way he dresses, the way he interacts with people. She has to really talk to him and coach him through just not being a little bit abrasive, but and he doesn't mean to. It's just the way he is. He's just quirky.
Yeah.
So he came to work the other day and he said, Miss Donna, my girlfriend left me.
Oh.
And he was, you could just tell that he was devastated by this.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, how long have y'all been dating? He's like, gosh, I don't know, almost 2 years. And she just up and left. I had no idea. She was at my house and then left, gone, haven't heard from her.
No reason.
No reason that he could tell. And he was hurt.
I'm sure.
And so by the end of the day, I don't know what, the shift is 6 or 7 hours, whatever it was. And so the conversation kind of stopped, and she didn't want to go back and bring it back up because he was clearly bothered by it. And so he brings it up to her, strange, just out of the blue, right before the end of the shift there at Onward. And he said, Miss Donna, she just went to Publix. He was like, well, what do you mean? My girlfriend, she had left, but she went to Publix.
He's packing it all up. It's all done. It's over.
She was like, wait a minute.
7 hours you've been dealing with this.
And you just found this out that she just left to go to Publix. That's it. Dude,
I'm telling you, those buy one get ones will just make it crazy. You don't even tell your family you're going to Publix.
Yeah,
That's how good those are.
She left me. She had just left to go to Publix. That was the end of it. I was like, good Lord, what? She
so
had
dramatic.
I know, right? And she said that's his personality to a T. Like after she had thought about it, she's like, I couldn't quit laughing after lock up the store, closed down, got home. She was like, I just rolled there sitting on my couch to watch the TV, and I was watching the show. I was so just thinking about him and how.
Now, was he serious or was he like setting her up?
No, dead serious.
As could be.
Yes. She left me, and dude, and then it comes back. 4 hours later. Well, she just left to go to Publix. I found that out later. Yes. It's just insane, man.
He didn't try calling her. She just left. Where are you going? Publix.
Gone.
It would have been done.
She's just over. Well, she had just gone to Publix. So anyway, all right. So we'll talk about the frightening side of the world. We've got the fun and the potential of snow. We had my cousin Curtis call. God, I hope he calls back.
Drive safe, Curtis, too.
Please do. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. Here on Extra 106.3. Warfare in the future will look like what you think the future will look like. Next on the Morning Extra, Tug Rhino with us until 10. The Kimmer Show is only on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Dr. Paul McHugh, Distinguished Service Professor of Psychiatry at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine,
that's big,
says, quote, transgenderism is the only mental illness demanding that the rest of society adopt the patient's delusion as part of the patient's treatment.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 3 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffers from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. We provide testosterone replacement therapy, the P-shot, and treatment for ED, PE, and Peyronie's disease. There's not just one therapy that can solve these complex issues. When you visit our clinic, you're going to see me. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. 404-777-1911. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. 404-777-1911. Online at tbtofga.com.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlantis Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlantis Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantismiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantismiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantismiles.com.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Friday, January 10th, 2025. More sleet and less snow is the latest forecast for the metro Atlanta area as a winter storm begins in the state of Georgia. The National Weather Service moved up the time of the weather warning to 5 a.m. this morning, with sleet starting to fall in West Georgia. Forecasts still call for less than an inch of snow in Atlanta and up to 2 inches in the surrounding areas. The winter storm warning is in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Governor Brian Kemp, along with other Republican governors, met with Donald Trump last night at Mar-a-Lago to discuss energy, immigration, and other federal policies. Kemp, who was recently elected chair of the Republican Governors Association, returned late last night to continue preparations for the winter storm. And in business news, Amazon has announced that it plans to spend at least $11 billion on a new data center here in Metro Atlanta. Amazon Web Services says it will be making the investment in facilities in Butts and Douglas County. Amazon says the project will employ at least 550 workers. The projects combined would likely rank as the largest corporate investment in the state of Georgia's history. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 1063.
Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra as we debate the world and all the things that are happening, all the craziness that is going on around the world. The next war that is fought, and who knows where that's going to be, that the United States will actually be involved in full scale. I mean, we know we have troops on the ground, special operators, contractors, CIA assets in Ukraine. We know we have, a smattering of folks on the DMZ there between North and South Korea, Syria, Iraq. We got people everywhere, in small bunches that are probably engaged in firefights all the time. But a full-scale war, it's going to look tremendously different because of technology, Rhino.
Yeah, we got a lot of new bills that are coming out, drone bills. They're starting to be drafted in regards to China and the way that they have their spy drones around. And they still haven't given us a full update on what drones are what drones. So these bills are going to be very important because, number one, local law enforcement at this point doesn't have any way to take down these drones. And a lot of people have probably seen the videos of, like, in China where they get the big nets or they get the two drones with the nets.
Throw them up.
Yeah, throw them up and get them. Our local enforcement can't do that. So a lot of Republican senators are saying this is ridiculous. We've had these drones. Nobody's given us any information on them. We need to be able to take these drones down in any way possible. So that's one of the most important bills that's going through right now. But there are a lot of others, including a ban on those imports, the Chinese imports of drones, not knowing what kind of technology is in these drones and whether or not they could spy on the American people and areas where these people put up like DJI drones and to check out everything around.
I've said how Ukraine has basically given us the modern blueprint for what wars are going to look like. And in terms of using drones on troops, on convoys, all the stuff. Now, but I will tell you, too, it's also the Stone Age of drone technology. Like, this is, we're talking about stuff like I got it from Radio Shack. I put a bomb on it and I flew it at somebody. I'm like, that is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about things that are semi-sonic. We're talking about things that can move in ways that nobody could dream of with payloads that are insane. That, just as Elon Musk has talked about, we are basically going to take the fighter pilot. We're going to take the regular person who's flying a plane, and that's going to be obsolete here in probably the next decade.
Yeah.
This is going to be drone technology that's going to be doing all this.
Because you don't want to endanger the pilot. There's no need to. And they don't have the physical ability to do what some of the drones that will.
You would black out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have the physical
doing
ability.
the things that drones are going to be able to do.
That's exactly right.
Yep. No. Look, this is something that I think is going to develop and continue to develop. But I think it's one of the most important things, especially with cybersecurity. The cyber war is the newest war. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Drones are capable of carrying a lot of things, including ways. I'm sure they could get an EMP on a drone now. And easily fly it in, be done. And you're going to cripple the United States as quick as possible. This is part of the reason why you need to have things like, the drone technology and the ability to take these down at any point. We can't allow Chinese spy balloons and drones to fly over our country anymore.
But that's the thing. Though these laws are probably beneficial for local law enforcement, the president at any time can have anything shot down that he wants to shoot down. Anything that needs to be done to protect the homeland, the president has the authority to do. So with local folks, I think these laws will be beneficial. But the president could have done anything he wanted to do at any time he needed to do it.
Can I give you a hypothetical that might bake your noodle a little bit?
Yes, please.
What if we don't have the technology to regularly bring these things down?
Well, but you're right. I just mean spy balloons and the drones.
But that's
over Navy bases.
That is the low end technology that I think we're starting to deal with.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
We are dealing with an archaic version of some of this stuff that is being used in the way it's being used. I think what we're talking about, in a way that we went from a spy plane to a satellite in space that can look down and still get justice. I think we're getting that jump from here's archaic drone technology to here's like space age drone technology that can do things where the idea of just let's take it down, it's hanging out in front of our base. I don't know if we have the technology to do that right now.
Well, just think about it's like the Industrial Revolution, basically going from having nothing to all of a sudden in less than 100 years, America was like so technologically advanced.
Like if I was to say, Tug, you're the commanding officer of this particular naval base and there's a spy balloon over it, your Tug's gonna be like, I'm shooting it down.
It's coming down.
All right, if I told you that there is a satellite that's this many
What are you
miles
gonna
above.
do?
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
And that's my question as to
Yeah.
where I think this is moving.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Then that's the hypothetical that's like, what if it's got to the point now where we can't routinely deal with this stuff?
Oh, I think there's probably a lot of that.
I think so,
and
too.
I think that the Pentagon's in
And I think that's why they're in scramble mode. When Rhino brings it up, because here's where the technology is going, I think within D.C. there's a lot of, hey, we've got pretty good tech. Theirs is at the same level, too.
And the Chinese are the spearhead probably right now of that. And
they don't have the same regulations we do.
No, of course. And everything is for the party, right? President Xi says, whatever we need to do, that's what we're going to do, and on the backs of anybody that need to be done.
This is why, if we really want to even the playing field, at some point we're going to have to find Bigfoot, clone him, and then arm him.
That's right.
So that if we can deal
Like
with
Predator?
if we can deal with this alien technology that is now in our skies, we need to fight fire with fire.
That's
And
exactly
so
right.
I know I used to talk about drafting Bigfoot and putting him at center for the Hawks. No. We got to
in the
get
military.
national interest now. We got to go a different direction to make this thing work.
Harry and the Henderson. Harry's going to be the secret weapon that saves the world in World War III.
He did.
No Patton. No, it's Sasquatch.
No, you were all caught up in like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies of the 80s, and I'm just telling you, we've upgraded.
Yes, no doubt.
It's now a hairy beast man who's 8 feet tall.
That's
who's
right.
impenetrable.
Well, but the thing is that some of the drones will be that.
Yeah, the
Some
same
of
idea.
The drone soldiers. I mean, you've seen. What is it? Is it Honda that has the robot that can do backflips? It's like
them and
so
Boston
smooth. Yeah, there you go.
Technologies have been working on that. I don't know about the application as far as like in the field of that, but I do know the ones that are up there flying that are dodging things in ways that don't make sense the
The
way
Navy
they can
pilots
move.
are like, we've never seen anything.
They're like
that.
we have nothing that can move like this.
Yeah.
That is the
That's
future.
real. Yeah, that I buy into. I believe, but those. I don't know what you call them. Robots is the only thing I know to call them. Is the most terrifying. And those dogs, you see the robot dog with the Gatling gun on its back.
Those are friendly.
Yeah,
Those are like low end tech.
Yes. They're horrifying. Just the thought of
Everyone's going to have Rhino in 10 years will have one out in front of his house. That's low end.
Yeah, just walking the dog. I'm just saying what my human mind can perceive and what I've seen so far. I can just imagine how horrifying that would be coming at you in war, because it's not like it feels pain to when you shoot it once in the leg.
It is so strange that when we would watch sci-fi movies of the 80s, we are getting closer to the idea we're having our own AI, patented by our own countries, fighting our wars against other countries.
And you bring up the drones in Ukraine.
Yep.
They're using AI to take all that video, that hours and hours and hours of video of fighting against the Russians, and putting that into computers and coming up with new ways to perfect the war fighting using those drones. It's unimaginable what warfare will be.
I'm afraid
like you
of
said, even a decade from now.
I mean, we're talking about we are 80 years removed from you got to run up on a beach and shoot the Nazis.
Yeah. Look, I love the fact that it saves our soldiers' lives, our kids' lives, and all that. I hate the fact that we're even developing weapons, though, and putting research into these weapons. There is a lot that goes into these drones, a lot that goes into buying them from China and the parts from China. I mean, that's got to be scary enough. We have plenty of good scientists here in this country, American scientists, companies that can build these drones, and better than the Chinese. Maybe not as cheap, but that's okay. Let's stop working with the cheap and start working on protection. That's why it's so important. Again, this is why Donald Trump is thinking ahead. Greenland, very strategically placed and protects not only us, but all of Canada as well. Same thing with the Panama Canal. I mean, these are reasons that we're putting them in because we have foresight. We're not going to look back and go, we should have actually opened the reservoirs in L.A. so that we had enough water to come in. We're going, hey, we're going to get Greenland so the Chinese don't come in and destroy everything else.
And the Chinese want it.
Yeah.
See, I don't think you can sit there on a CNN panel and explain that with our current state of readiness and the current situation that we have, that you might have maybe 8 minutes to be aware of any sort of drone attack or drone escalation that comes from China that finds its way over the northern United States. If you have Greenland, you got significantly more time.
Absolutely, you do. Yeah,
and that's the idea of it. And so, as much as they want to get upset, but that's for viewers that can't see the big picture. Me, strategically understanding that this is how this works, I'm like, I don't mind the idea of a base there in Greenland. I would love to be able to have that property.
Got to have it.
Future warfare is going to be about that over the horizon, over the Arctic Circle threats that you can do.
And the Chinese and the Russians have been emphatic about their desire
semisonic technology
and desire to be in the Arctic Circle, though, specifically in that location because of all the minerals and all the just the things that they can use to build more of that technology that they need. It's fascinating, man. It is. The future is
it's right,
amazing.
It's right in our face.
It is. But that's the thing. We say the future, but it's really not. It's now.
Yeah, it's been worked on, and we're to think that we had a bunch of drones that are they not on our eastern seaboard anymore? I mean, that story just went away.
Yeah.
But it was, how are these things here that are sitting there for as long as they are, that defies normal drone technology, and then we got no explanation from our government as to what they are?
Yeah,
like Donald Trump was like the closest. He's like, we know what they are.
Yeah, and he's exactly right, and I believe him 100% when he said we know what they are. There's no question in my mind.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it's ours. I don't know if it's theirs, but somebody does.
This is again, they're Chinese. They're somebody from the outside. It's got to be, and it's ours. And we're working to try to. There's an imminent threat to this country right now, and a lot of it comes from what's happening to the southern border. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, they've got briefings on what's going on. Okay, national security briefings that are so important. They know this is why they're not saying what everything was happening, especially, and this is why the drone thing kind of went away. But I think this is what's steering Donald Trump to say, hey, we really do need to make sure, again, Greenland, Panama Canal, because that's all part of the Iron Dome idea that he has about protecting this country and protecting the citizens. Rather than Joe Biden sending his money out to create wars all over the world, we're trying to protect the American citizen, and that's most important.
Indeed it is. And it has to be the focus of Donald Trump, and I do believe that it is, because it's not been the focus for the last 4 years. Protecting America has been, it's taken a back seat, which is the craziest thing in the world. To think that for 4 years, our government put our security as a backseat issue. They were more concerned about climate change or something silly like that. Anyway, weather remains the top subject of the day. I mean, will you be able to make a snowman by late this afternoon, this evening? It's possible. We're under
I'm making snow angels.
Winter storm warning, snow angels. Joey, yes, you can do that. Some wintry mix expected. We're about 35, 36 right now, at least here at our offices. If you're north, obviously that number goes down a little bit. What is it?
I saw some snowflakes in the lights at Turner Field.
At
Truist Park.
Did you really?
Yeah,
okay.
some snowflakes. I'm going to make a snowball.
Governor Brian Kemp has declared a state of emergency through Tuesday. That's freaking Tuesday?
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the ice that they think is going to get on power lines and trees, and possible. I guess that's it.
Yeah, all right then. And then, of course, government offices and many schools throughout Metro Atlanta are closed. As a matter of fact, the Kimmer's going to check in about an hour from now to talk about some of the closings and then even talk about his Snowpocalypse show this afternoon. So that'll be fun. Stay off the roads if you possibly can. That's just some of the things that we're following because you probably remember Snowpocalypse in 2011, Snowmageddon 2014. Will this be a replay of that? Let's hope not. Dear God, let's hope not. I heard you talking with my wife Laura about
she's got 8 inches still
of snow from Weatherbug. I don't know. I'm not buying that.
Like
one,
I said to her, from her mouth to
I know,
God's
yeah,
ears,
y'all are
let's
pulling
go.
for it.
Let's
I am
go.
not. I hope we get nothing. I hope it stays nothing. I don't like it. I don't think it's. I mean, it is pretty for just about 15 minutes, and then it's a pain in the butt. The rest
I
of the
also
time.
made arrangements. If it does get too cold, I get to cuddle with
Joey.
Joe. Yep.
Oh, see, y'all are gonna make such
It's news to me, but
cuddle bugs.
you know,
But I bet you're in.
I'll
right?
be chilly.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
fine.
All right, then. When we come back on Extra 106.3, Biden has a very interesting message at the Jimmy Carter funeral yesterday. Did you hear what he said? If you didn't, we'll play it for you next. And you will probably have a giant eye roll and maybe even chuckle out loud. We'll play it by ear. You let me know what you think at 404-741-1230 after we play it next.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Fighting Irish will be heading to Atlanta for the national championship after Notre Dame beat Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl 27-24. Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard carried the Irish, even coming back from an injury. He ran for a touchdown in the third quarter and threw a 53-yard touchdown to Jaden Greathouse, tallying his passing yards on the game to 223. With 7 seconds left, Notre Dame kicker Mitch Jeter kicked a 41-yard field goal to seal the 3-point win. The Irish will go on to play the winner of Texas and Ohio State. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
I want to tell you about the folks that you call when things are shaky, especially with the weather. I mean, we've been dealing with, wild weather for a few weeks. High winds, heavy rains, and now snow and ice are on the way this weekend. If your roof has taken a beating from these storms, it is time to call the pros at Southern Exteriors. They've been keeping homes safe since 1999 with expert storm damage repair and roofing you can trust. Don't let a small issue become a big problem when the snow hits. That's the thing. I think so many people see, well, it's just a small little issue. We'll take care of it eventually. But then eventually runs into what we're about to face now, or they say we're about to face now, and that becomes a big, big issue. If you need that help, if you need that extra helping hand, then reach out to Southern Exteriors today. They can help you out. They're good folks. They'll look you in the eye, shake your hand, and do exactly what they said they'll do. They'll have an on-site foreman as well. SouthernExteriors.co is their website. 8779-SOUTHERN is their number, 8779-SOUTHERN. The website, one more time, just so you have it, because the snow, they say, is coming in right now. That's SouthernExteriors.co.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
2024 is behind us. Let's reflect on the year that was. A year of unexpected challenges, crises, wake-up calls, all from natural disasters like record-breaking hurricanes pounding the Gulf Coast to wildfires out west, global conflicts, supply chain disruptions. It is a year that reminds us why preparedness isn't just smart, it's essential. Think back to the headlines. How many times did you hear about people stranded without access to critical medications? The Jace case is the solution. It's a simple, reliable, emergency supply of life-saving medications that puts you back in control. While you're making your New Year's resolutions, how about be prepared for anything life can throw at you? You can have peace of mind knowing the Jace case has you covered. This isn't about fear. This is about responsibility and peace of mind. Being prepared is the best way to protect your family and your future. So don't wait for the next headline to wake you up. Go to jace.com, and enter the promo code BECK. Make sure you have the right meds on hand the moment you need them. JASE.com.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turfco to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turfco was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turfco to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
The Extra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Morning, y'all. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra until 10. 404-741-1230. If you see anything that we should know about that we can share with other listeners, please let us know about it. And we're going to go over to the
Traffic center.
Traffic center.
Yeah, the winter weather is going to have a little bit of fun today, but right now we've already got an accident. A bad one if you're coming up north to Atlanta and over by 675, 75 in Morrow area. There is a traffic jam that has all lanes blocked right now,
no.
so which could be a problem, especially since the snow and ice is starting to fall there. It's going to allow them to keep that road blocked, which means no one's going to be driving over it and breaking up anything that's falling and sitting there and getting cold. So temperature's starting to drop, already dropped 2 degrees over the past 10 minutes. So be careful out there.
Yes, definitely. Thank you from the traffic center.
Scott, right? Should I do it? I got to do it from like a helicopter.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. We probably won't tell you about it every 6 minutes or anything like that.
The Atlanta Safe Traffic Center.
That's right. But if it's bad, man, we'll talk about it. I think that's the logical way to do a show, right? Like if there's something bad going on, you tell people about it. You don't have to tell them that traffic's clear. I mean, I got it.
Here's what I do know as a traffic person. If you're driving through McDonough, sorry.
Yeah, it's
because you're going to be stuck there for 53 minutes, and there's no accident, no construction, and no reason for why you're sitting in McDonough.
And I'm not even certain that there's a time of day that you are free from that.
Nope.
It's every time I've gone through McDonough, doesn't matter when, where I'm headed, what I'm doing, at what time of day or night.
The worst.
It's always the same.
And there's no way around it. I tried last time to go like through Griffin, forget it, up 41 and up. Yeah. It took just as long as it would just to sit there for 53 minutes for no reason.
The beauty of that, though, is at least you're moving, right? Like I do prefer like taking the long way. At least I'm moving, and I know it's going to take the same amount of time, but it doesn't. It's just some sort of mental thing that I have going on that I would rather drive and be moving than sitting still.
Sat there for an hour. I was less than 2 hours from home. And I sat there and didn't get home for 2.5 hours after sitting there. And it was just every single time, man. I don't know if anybody knows why McDonough is like that. Please call the traffic center.
Yes. We have our own sounders and everything.
Yeah, Joe, you need to start learning how to make a helicopter sound. There you go.
Wait, that sounded like the NFL draft thing in the beginning of that.
It's even better.
Can you play that again? Remember when they do the draft? Does it not sound like that?
Yes.
I mean, that's good.
The Atlanta Falcons pick is in.
That's exactly right. They chose unwisely again.
Another quarterback.
Exactly.
They chose, this is the third kicker of the draft they've picked.
That's exactly. And none of them from the University of Georgia.
Which is dumb.
We shall have none of that. Oof. That's, I know I'm not supposed to point it out.
Are they kicker you now?
UGA?
Yeah.
Kicker U?
Yeah. They used to be, like running back university, but they have some of the best kickers every year.
Well, yeah, they had Jack Podlesny was there, but probably not in the NFL.
Not in the NFL.
Yeah, because
they had Hot Rod.
Yeah,
and he flamed out.
Yeah, he did.
Sucks.
Did Podlesny go to the NFL?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, there's been a handful of Georgia kickers that have ended up there, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they are or not. I'm going to go with no on this one. But look, I could be wrong. If you know the answer, 404-741-1230. If you know anything about craziness going on around town, bad traffic, any if you'd like to tell us about the snowflakes where you are. Because some people want to take it. Look,
they icy.
Exactly.
Send in your pictures. We'll put them up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, or something. Or share them on social media. Or tag us at Xtra1063. It's easy to do. You can, share there and we'll interact with you there. Joe Biden yesterday at the Jimmy Carter funeral, which was an interesting dynamic. Did y'all see all the interaction between Donald Trump and Barack Obama at one point? Barack Obama is like belly laughing.
I don't know what he's laughing at Hitler for like that.
It seems odd that he would be so chummy with someone he's described as Hitler. But look, it just goes to show you what politics is. You know what I mean? That politics, they're going to say anything. They're going to say whatever. But at the same time, they know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
They knew.
Oh, yeah, of course they did. And Joe just brought up what I was about to bring up to you, too, is I think they all got together, and they all have one thing in common. They hate Kamala. Yep.
Dude.
We all thought the same thing.
Because all this happened right when she right when she came and showed up.
And nobody really talked to her.
Yeah.
She was sitting by herself in front of people.
Yeah. As much as people are like, oh, look at this. Nobody's talking to Melania or Donald. That's not true. I mean, Barack Obama and them are laughing it up.
Yeah,
Mike
they're
Pence and
chumming it
him
up,
are
yeah.
shaking hands. Everybody's having a good old time. And then you see Kamala Harris, and she's sitting up in the front row with Doug, her adulterous husband. And they're sitting there, and they start joking, and you see a Barack and him laughing, and then you see her kind of like her face turned.
Like she was
upset.
Unhappy about it.
She was unhappy, and then she went right to the program and just put her head down in the program and read. And, I there are times that I feel bad for her because she was put into a position that she never was going to be able to handle. Everybody knew that Kamala Harris was a complete flake, that there was no way whatsoever she would be able to articulate exactly what the American people wanted to hear about the economy, about immigration, the border, and the things that are going on. And the more she tried to go out there and say, hey, yeah, we're going to fix this economy, we're going to bring down prices, it was easy for people to go, well, why haven't you done that in the 3.5 years, and why aren't you doing it now? Why have you disappeared and only shown up at events? You should be, you got time to fix it. Why aren't you doing that? But at the same time, they set her up for this, and they painted her in a pretty bad light. And the media, they didn't turn on her. They even helped her, and yet she just came off as a fool every single time. She wasn't ready for that.
It was a odd dynamic. The entire thing was strange. It was just weird. It was just altogether weird. And then Joe Biden's up there speaking, and I want you to hear what he said. Of all people to say what he said, I was taken back. Listen to this.
We have an obligation to give hate no safe harbor and to stand up to what my dad used to say is the greatest sin of all, the abuse of power. That's not about being perfect, because none of us are perfect. We're all fallible.
The abuse of power.
Yeah.
Coming from the man that has abused his power more than any other president in the history of the United States in 248 years. That man abused his power more than anyone. Or maybe he wasn't aware of it. I think he was, at least before he developed dementia, because he was not a good man and he abused power as a politician the entirety of his career. But definitely the people around him abused his power. And he abused his power by selling the United States out with his son and with his brother. He abused his power by weaponizing the DOJ, going after his political opponents as if this is some sort of banana republic. And it's hard to argue that with Joe Biden in power for the last 4 years that it's not been.
He abused his power way before he married Jill Biden. And he abused it by using the IRS to go after her husband to take everything away from him, including his wife, and then ended up marrying that woman. So this is a man who has abused his power throughout his entire time in the Senate. And then, of course, the vice presidency. We know about it. And, of course, the presidency. He got almost everything that he did as an executive order overturned. When it came to student debt relief, he knew that unconstitutional. He tried to abuse his power and push it through. They abused their power by saying, hey, Alvin Bragg, there are 34 of these records in these taxes, and they're all to a lawyer for legal fees because Donald Trump hired Michael Cohen, an attorney, to go ahead and handle a situation and paid him to do it. Instead of giving him, and if you want to give him one count, but 34 of the same exact count, this is all abusing power. And he allowed it to happen throughout the entire presidency as far as a lot of people are concerned. Yeah. But I think it's also a dangerous rhetoric. What he did was he set out there before the inauguration to say, you must stand up to an abuse of power. He sent a message to people who might be crazy, who would text you in the middle of the night going off on all these weird things, threatening violence and all this stuff. Those kind of people now hear that message. Where do they go on Jan 20?
But also, what about the folks on January 6th that felt like there was a power being abused?
They can't stand up.
Right, but that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Only the proper people in Joe Biden and the people around him, in their mind, can stand up to the abuse of power as they see it.
Yeah.
Because those people on January 6th did exactly what Joe Biden recommended. Stand up to the abuse of power and half of them are in jail for parading through the Capitol building.
Think about what happened, though. They were welcomed in, and then the power that be, the Capitol Police, attacked them, and then they responded. They were standing up to power, too.
Yes.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, bad rhetoric.
Absolutely. And the weirdest timing to do it at a funeral?
Yeah.
How about he was a
Did
good
he
man?
know he was at a funeral,
Maybe
though?
not.
He might have forgotten at that moment.
It's very possible he didn't. When we come back, Brian Kemp being proactive, and in Los Angeles, anchors arguing over water. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Hey, it's Tug. The Morning Extra has you covered from 6 to 10, and Kimmer's got you on the ride home.
Basically speaking, I'll bet you that in most neighborhoods, kind of neighborly areas in most parts of this country, there's usually one old fart who's kind of an old guy, and he's kind of a funny guy in the neighborhood. He may be an old geezer, or the people kind of talk about him, or it's just, somebody's an old coot, maybe a nice old guy, but he's just kind of, that's me. I'm the guy. I realized it just over the weekend. I'm driving. I see people, waving like, oh, he's so, And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm the guy. They see me out there washing my car by hand, grunting and groaning and wheezing. Oh, that poor bastard. He's going to drop dead one day. I'm sure they're going to find me curled up behind my car with a hose running.
Someone should go help him. The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, Atlanta's engagement ring and wedding band destination since 1939. Why? Easy. Hand-picked diamonds that just shine brighter at a value that can't be beat. An unbelievable selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, from classic to modern to off the wall, because, hey, you like what you like. And because we've been jewelers for generations, we can bring your dream ring to life with full custom abilities. If you're getting engaged, we make shopping for diamonds easy with Atlanta's best staff of trained gemologists. Tell us what matters to you, and we'll work together to get you the best value. We're a small family-owned business. We live here. We want you to like us. Already engaged? Congrats, you found your perfect match. Time for your ring to find its perfect match. Just bring yourself, your partner, stack them up, and try as many wedding band looks as you can dream up. Make it personal with touches like birthstones and engraving. So when it's time for the next chapter, come see Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939, D. Geller & Son, in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
With New Year's resolutions, many of us will vow to eat healthier, and that's a good thing. But what about your beloved pets and their nutrition? Where's their RFK? Am I right? Well, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black is actually their RFK. He's on a mission to provide better nutrition for cats and dogs because, truthfully, it's what we're feeding our pets, most of it, is not good, and we're not feeding them what they need, which is why he created Rough Greens and Meow Greens. Bring your pet's dead food back to life with live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, antioxidants, and so much more. It's tasty to the dogs and the cats. So improve your pet's coat, digestion, energy, have less vet bills in 2025. Bring a new year and a new pet. Get a Jumpstart trial bag, normally $20, free with a promo code Glenn, just cover shipping. Resolve to provide what your pet food has been missing with RUFF Greens. Roughgreens.com. Get your free Jumpstart trial bag. Roughgreens.com, promo code Glenn.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
More grieving and more devastation around Los Angeles. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This morning, the smell of smoke permeates the hills and the mountains and the surf and the ocean side, as you could hear it. Another day of fighting very active fires here in Los Angeles. About 10,000 homes and buildings have burned as 5 wildfires still rage. Confirmed 10 deaths now at this point. Fox Weather's Robert Ray is among the ruins in Malibu. All you see is crumbled and sideways tilted steel beams. This is going to have to go, as many of the homes and businesses up and down the PCH, where I am right now, are destroyed. There are more firefighters trying to douse the flames, but a water tanker aircraft, key to the battle, is grounded, damaged in a collision with a drone. Fox's Bill Malugin reports from fire-ravaged Pacific Palisades.
I cannot stress to you how crucial these aircraft are. LA County leases them from Canada every year. There's only 2 of them. They're the aircraft you see dipping into the Pacific Ocean and making these drops. They can drop 6 tons of water at each time. They are a massive help.
A winter storm across the South has canceled more than 2,000 flights today. Many to and from Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, and Nashville. Fox Weather's Michael Estimes in Memphis.
A couple of our forecast models saying that we could pick up closer to about 8 inches of snow. That would be a ton for Memphis.
Parts of Texas got nearly a foot of snow. In a few hours, President-elect Trump will appear virtually at his sentencing for falsifying business record convictions. Fox's Eric Shawn reports from outside the court.
He won't be going to jail, but there could be a fine and a tongue lashing by Judge Juan Merchan. That after the Supreme Court gave this sentencing the go-ahead last night. In its decision, the High Court rejected Trump's bid to delay his sentencing.
They called for an appeal, so I read it, and I thought it was a fair decision, actually.
He calls the case a disgrace and witch hunt. America's listening to Fox News.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288.
You're right, and so are we. Welcome to Extra 106.3.
If you like snow, look out your window because it is starting to fall, and it is very beautiful. I'm no fan of snow. I want no part of this.
Come to our side.
I like it to be 100 degrees and 100% humidity. I should have been born on the equator. My name is Tug, along with Rhino and Los. And board op Captain Goey Virgin River. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. I was told that I was not scaring people enough. That I need to be more intense with my my fear mongering. That way we keep people listening longer. And I was like, right. Is that I will not participate.
Oh, so we got to turn into like a woke socialist broadcasting company.
I'm not doing it.
There are 15 snowflakes that just came and very detrimental. We do have one reporter out there. I just got hit in the head by one of these snowflakes. They're very heavy, very heavy.
I was also told that this storm, Cora the Cobra. Remember? Yep, like on was that Dodgeball? Yeah, Dodgeball. There you go.
A true underdog story.
That's right. Cora the Cobra.
Yeah.
That is coming our way, and snow has started to fall here at the Battery Atlanta, at Truist Park, home of your Atlanta Braves, and Dickey Broadcasting Company, our sister station, the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM, and us here.
Yeah.
On the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3.
If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a snowflake.
I was told I was told that Cora is worse than Joe Biden because we have no idea what she's going to do.
Well, guess what? Joe Biden has no idea what he's going to do either.
Exactly right. So both are bad.
Yeah.
Both are bad.
Well, that's the thing about
Both
Mother Nature.
unpredictable.
Yeah, Mother Nature, very unpredictable. She could change her mind any minute. Where we get prepared and we continue to get prepared, which is a great thing, and give Brian Kemp a lot of credit for what he's been doing here in the state of Georgia and making sure that we have all the resources we need. I'll be honest, I was out this morning and I thought it was great to see a lot of the trucks out there brining the highways. They've done a great job. They've been out all morning. So credit to the Georgia DOT for what they've been doing and preparing for this. But this kind of goes to show the difference between the way certain people handle these events. When you look at Ron DeSantis down in Florida and the way he handled all the weather events and the preparation and getting the constituents that he has there in Florida through any kind of emergency, to the way that Brian Kemp handled Hurricane Helene, plus what he's doing here and making sure, he went to Mar-a-Lago yesterday and then comes back and makes sure that we're number one and that we care about that. And then you see what's going on in LA with all the tragic fires that are just destroying. But you don't want to blame people, but you do need to look at why and the reasons. And when you talk about underbrush, when you talk about the things that could have been done to prevent these kind of things, that's what we need. Prevention first. We need to make sure that we're preventing, not reacting.
Part of that preparation with Brian Kemp, and he has done a good job. As I was heading home yesterday about, it's probably about noon-ish after the show, headed up Georgia 400. You could see the brine on the road. You could see the salt on the road as we were coming in this morning. 285, as I was merging from 400 to 285 west. There was a ice or a salt truck. And it had the big signs.
I followed two trucks in.
Do not pass, because those big, huge, chunks of salt were bouncing around everywhere.
That's the worst part. Like growing up north was, the ice and the brine and what it does to your car.
Oh my God, it rusts them out, don't they?
God, yeah.
Yeah, you can always tell a car that's been up north for a long time anyway. But Georgia Power is another one. They are prepared. Thousands of crew and equipment positioned and in place, ready to respond when it's safe. They've been preparing plants and crews for days. They don't send out crews until it's safe to do so, but they do the best in the business, man. When it comes to storm response, their crews are absolute heroes because they are going to do whatever it takes in the elements to make sure that you have power at your house if you're a Georgia Power customer, and they have been prepared.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And we'll be working until the job is done, and we appreciate everybody.
Thank alignment today if you see them.
Without a doubt.
Because these guys work so hard, and they do all the really, really hard work, and they're going to make sure, listen, this is going to be the biggest part of this storm, Tug, is that, you got a lot of wet right now because these snowflakes are big. And they carry a lot of moisture. And right now, yes, the temperature is dropping, but it's going to start forming ice, and especially on power lines and trees. So you can imagine that that's going to be the biggest fear for people is power lines going down. If you see a live wire, come on, don't touch it. Don't go near it. Call right away and make sure you call Georgia Power and let them know. The other thing is these trees are going to fall and they're going to take out the power. So these Georgia Power guys and everybody else, because a lot of people come up from Florida and everywhere else to help in these kind of situations. It's already been set. So it's just great to see that kind of cooperation.
Yeah, just being ready. That's all. And Brian Kemp, Bravo Zulu, Brian Kemp, done a great job. We appreciate you. Georgia Power, done a great job. We appreciate you. It's things like this, the cooperation, when things work the way they're supposed to, which so rarely happens. Look at what's happening in L.A., man. They're not working together out there.
No.
That is not what's happening. And that's not what we face here in the state of Georgia. We do have cooperation. We do have people that are making common sense decisions that benefit everyday Georgians. And I'm proud of that. That is the way I want to see it happen, especially in the most tender of moments. They're acting like crazy people. In California. Nobody's communicating. Nobody's prepared. Nobody's doing what needs to be done. And they're suffering the consequences of it. I think in Georgia, we will have a much better outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the things, the situations are very different. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to compare, a potential snowstorm with what's happening with the burning.
But the burning could have been prevented.
But that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's exactly where I was going.
We can't stop a snowstorm. We can't stop that. But what they could have done in Los Angeles was listened. They should have listened to the people. And, Carlos did a great job by bringing up John Androsnik yesterday from Five for Fighting. And I went to his, we're all friends on Twitter now and all that stuff. And I went to his Twitter page or his X page and started reading about what's really happening in L.A. And it should be concerning to people that they asked for the water that was running off, because there is runoff from Canada and Northern California that runs through that aqueduct. I spent many hours yesterday looking at the aqueducts and how they fill. One of them comes from Colorado. That's the one, if people are starting to talk about the smelt and the fish, the reason that they didn't take the runoff from Colorado through that aqueduct was because they were afraid of the environmental impact on fish. They're not afraid of the environmental impact on everybody else in L.A. that's losing their homes and may never, ever recover. I mean, this is going to be disastrous. But when you look at, hey, we should have built the reservoirs. We shouldn't have sent all the water that was coming down from the top of these mountains and California and Canada. We sent that water right to the ocean? Are you kidding me? And then the underbrush. Every other state that's responsible cleans out the underbrush. It doesn't kill animals. It doesn't do what everybody wants to think. What it does is it saves lives, and lives are being lost every single day. Homes are being lost. And now this is going to be economically the biggest disaster in American history.
Devastating.
Yep.
And as Adam Carolla said, the comedian and podcaster, media personality that he is, that people have no idea about the bureaucracy that they've elected and the challenges that they're about to face when they try to build back. I was reading yesterday that there's been new regulation that's been passed in the last year in California about building structures along the Pacific Coast Highway and I don't know that area well, because I've only been to San Diego. It's the only time I've ever been to California was San Diego one time when I went out there with the Navy. Mm-hmm. But they were talking about the regulation. He was talking about the regulation. He was like, it's about to punch people right in the mouth about what you can and can't build when it comes to, and when it comes to homes, when it comes to buildings. He said the only caveat is if you are a person of color or you are in a racial minority or some sort of minority labeled as a minority, then you're not going to face any of those regulations. So it will be fascinating. The tug of war, the battle, and the fight. We'll just leave it at that. The fight that's about to come for a lot of people that do not know it and do not expect it, yet they voted for it.
Well, here's the other big problem that's going on is California, because of all of this and all the ridiculous regulations, the insurance companies only cover up to $3 million. Okay, a lot of the homes that were burning in Malibu and all these areas, $10 million and up. So none of those homes will be able to be rebuilt unless these are some of the richest people in the world. Yes, absolutely. Maybe they have the extra $7 million to rebuild, but they just lost $7 million, a lot of these families. And you know the pricing out there. There are some houses that people are paying, about $3 million. They're never going to get what they needed out of these homes. This is going to be a complete disaster. Not to mention that there is California can't even cover it. They can't even cover it because what they did was they said, hey, we're going to have a supplemental insurance program through the state because, when government controls things, everything is great. They don't have the money for it. So this is going to be, when it comes to rebuilding California, this is going to be a nightmare for years. Dude. We're talking about decades, almost. Decades to rebuild Los Angeles in that area. And I know you guys want to play the climate change game on the left.
Silly.
You built an entire, cities and states. You built them in a desert with drought. You don't blame a desert for a drought on climate change. This is how ridiculous they're being. You built places where you knew there was no water, and you can't figure out how to use any of the water, and I know desalination is impossible with the oceans and all of this stuff, but
impossible. I don't know.
There's got to be a way to, yes, but for drinking and stuff, but there's got to be a way to use it to put out fires.
I would imagine, right? That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a way.
Yeah.
Because I know the United States Navy does it for ships out to sea. Maybe on the scale. Maybe it's the scale.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't do it on that big of a scale. The ship is, obviously much smaller than an entire geographic area. But you remind me when you talk about that being a desert. Do you remember the Sam Kinison skit where he was talking about, you know how to end world hunger? He was like, you have to tell people, you live in a desert.
Yeah.
Move to where the food is.
That's it.
Dude, it's
it.
One of the greatest skits of all time. If you've never seen it, we'll find it. We'll share it at Xtra 1063 and across the social media platforms. In that same vein, people trying to be experts, and I'm the first to tell you, I'm an expert at nothing. I have an opinion about most everything. And I think everybody does.
Like the rest of us.
They say it's like, well, never mind what they say.
A-holes. I'll say it for you, sir.
Everybody's got one. Right. I want you to hear these anchors and some of the people out in Los Angeles talking about the water situation, because we've been told and we've heard that firefighters were running out of water. Mm-hmm. And indeed, that seems to be the case. There was a Democrat that is very... he's very, how would you say?
Anti-America?
No. That too,
Democrat, no. Sorry, low-hanging fruit. That was an easy answer.
No, he's knocking the Democrat Party out in California because he says y'all have not done it right. And he talks about the water issue, and you brought it up a minute ago. And then the news anchor tries to correct him and then gets corrected. Listen to this craziness. This was on television night before last in Los Angeles.
Former L.A. mayoral candidate and real estate developer Rick Caruso criticizing the city's response to the windstorm and fires. He says officials should have been more prepared.
The real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spreads so quickly. And the second is you got to have water. And my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going.
Despite what you have heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades. I know your signal's not the best, but Gigi, what can you tell us?
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be able to make out the ember storm that we're in the middle of right now.
Listen, I saw this and listened to it 6 times. And I hate that I laughed at it. But this is what the mainstream liberal
media... You're not laughing at the situation.
Media,
You're laughing at the fools that can't get their story straight.
They know the truth. They know the story, but they're playing politics because you know what? We've gotten away from actually doing the work from the American people, and we're trying to, cheer on our favorite team. And Democrats and the liberal media have been cheering on one of the most corrupt Democrat parties that we've seen in probably 10, 15, 20 years. And what they continue to do is they throw out misinformation about what they say is misinformation. But the firefighters on the ground, firefighters all over, and you can see it everywhere. And I know it's being hidden because, well, Gavin Newsom and the Democrats want to hide all of this. But the fact of the matter is, when firefighters are telling you that these hydrants are empty and they have no water, I believe them.
Me too.
I believe them.
The people on the scene.
Over the politicians and media.
That are using the water or trying to or running out of it. So you have...
How funny was
that? You have Rick Caruso.
Let's go out live now.
You have Rick Caruso saying they don't have enough water. Immediately, the anchor in the studio says, nope, no firefighters has told us that. The reporter on the scene with the firefighters are saying we don't got water. Dude, all in a span of 30 seconds.
Yeah, listen, Rick Caruso, who lost to Karen Bass, the idiot mayor.
I bet people were second-guessing that one.
Oh, yeah. And, what's funny was, I saw, and I've been watching a lot of this things, and, live on Fox is a great, tool for me to watch and continue to watch. But I'm watching on there as Rick Caruso is being bashed because he owns these shopping centers, and he's a real estate guy. He owns one of the big shopping centers that didn't burn in that area. And when asked why, he goes, well, I was prepared for fires. I understand they're not going to do the work, so I prepped that area so that my building and the people who are the tenants that rent out these spaces would not be hurt in any kind of emergency like this. And they blamed him for taking care of his stuff. Well, you should have voted him in. Maybe he would have helped taking care of your stuff, but you voted for Karen Bass because of the color of her skin, because of the money they put into that, and she's a complete fool. This woman went on and told people, this is somebody who's supposed to be telling people how to deal with the emergency. She gets on yesterday and goes, if you are going through any kind of emergency and you need help in any way whatsoever and you can't get out, what we need you to do is go to the website, and it's URL.
Yeah, and then she reads URL.
She just read URL. and she doesn't even understand what URL. This is who's running your
Joe
city.
Biden.
This is who's in charge of your emergency management. This is what you voted for. I don't want any of you to think that I am heartless to the point where I say, hey, this is what you deserve, because I don't think anybody deserves this.
Yeah, of course. But you are getting what you voted for.
Maybe you should start looking at how you vote rather than these games where, you hear a bunch of people saying, well, this guy's that bad because he said a word. No, let's look at the actual records and facts of people before you put them in place.
It's a mess out there, man, and I feel for those people tremendously. In spite of the way that they vote, in spite of the craziness that they embrace, I feel terrible for them. And my prayers will be with them. I wish the best for them. They got a long road ahead. I'm glad that we are not subjected to that, because that is awful.
I'm glad they have a good president coming in office that will help rebuild and do better things for California than their own leaders will, because Kamala Harris isn't out there.
Can you imagine?
And that's her state. She's not there.
Can you imagine if Kamala Harris was elected as president and she was in 10 days going to be inaugurated? I mean, it would be Karen Bass on a national and international level, worldwide level.
By the way, Karen Bass was the favorite for VP before Kamala Harris. Could you imagine?
Terrible. Up next, as the snow starts to fall in metro Atlanta, we're going to check in with the Kimmer to go over some closing and preview his snowpocalypse show this afternoon, 3 on Extra 106.3.
Monday, the 20th. President Donald Trump is officially sworn in as President of the United States. And Extra 106.3 will bring you live coverage of the inauguration and everything that happens next. There will be a lot of changes and breaking news in the first 100 days of Donald Trump's second presidency. And Extra will have live updates from the biggest personalities in the country and the local legends you know and trust. For the breaking news without the spin, there's only one place you can talk about it. Extra 106.3 FM.
So, the doc says I have ED. ED. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just an abbreviation for a condition so many men have. If I was to be honest, I probably also have a little OCD. I know I have a great HMO. Heck, I even have 3 weeks of PTO. Look, don't let a few letters get you down. If you have ED, there's HELP. Go see Dr. Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He's an ED specialist that will turn your life around PDQ. ED happens to a lot of men as we age. And just FYI, Dr. Deal can give you back the confidence you need to perform on the JOB. So, ready to take the first step? Quit yelling WTF at your little BFF and visit tbtofga.com. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can fix your ED ASAP. And before you know it, you'll be screaming OMG.
I'm getting in the game. The world won't be the same. I'm good. I'm good to go.
Call 404-777-1911 or visit tbtofga.com.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services. But you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made, premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Are you concerned about securing your family's future and assets? Look no further than Nelson Elder Care Law. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we offer absolute assurance and peace of mind through our comprehensive asset protection services. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to explore how we can safeguard your legacy and provide tailored solutions for your family's well-being.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth if they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Friday, January 10th, 2025. More sleet and less snow is the latest forecast for the metro Atlanta area as a winter storm begins in the state of Georgia. The National Weather Service moved up the time of the weather warning to 5 a.m. this morning, with sleet starting to fall in West Georgia. Forecasts still call for less than an inch of snow in Atlanta and up to 2 inches in the surrounding areas. The winter storm warning is in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Governor Brian Kemp, along with other Republican governors, met with Donald Trump last night at Mar-a-Lago to discuss energy, immigration, and other federal policies. Kemp, who was recently elected chair of the Republican Governors Association, returned late last night to continue preparations for the winter storm. And in business news, Amazon has announced that it plans to spend at least $11 billion on a new data center here in Metro Atlanta. Amazon Web Services says it will be making the investment in facilities in Butts and Douglas County. Amazon says the project will employ at least 550 workers. The projects combined would likely rank as the largest corporate investment in the state of Georgia's history. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Xtra 1063.
7 o'clock hours brought to you by Van Sant Law. If you're in an accident, make the right call, vansantlaw.com.
I might be calling them later on the way home.
No kidding. Goodness gracious.
We might have made a mistake. The sports guys are losing their mind down the hall, by the way.
Oh, my Lord.
So they voted whether or not they were going to come in today. That's what they did.
They down.
Oh, we didn't get a vote.
Yeah, we didn't get a vote. And now they're mad.
Well, I just think
they're mad at each other for voting yes.
We have a responsibility, and this is the responsibility. Right. This is what we do, man. I mean, it's just like if a firefighter were to say, well, I can't go fight that fire. It's dangerous.
Right. Not today.
What? So it's what you're supposed to do? It's what you're paid to do? It's what you do for a living.
We got all hands on deck, including Kimmer, to help us with school clothes. I mean, this is a team effort.
Absolutely it is. So Board Op Goey Virgin River has been discussing this with Kimmer. So walk us through this.
Yes, I have. So I have to stay here all day. You know, the Kimmer's not coming in. And we had to stay late after the Kimmer show yesterday and, pre-record some of these school closings and such for today's show. And I'll be playing them, throughout the day. And I thought it would be apropos that we play them during
this
our
morning
show.
too.
Just to give the people what they want. The info, as we were talking about.
Right. Well, the important information to keep you and your family safe.
Exactly. So why don't we get started? Here's the opening for what we're going to do here with the Kimmer. Also, he may have gotten into some of the ASW. Let's just say that.
It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Welcome to Snow Day 2025. I'll be here to give you the information to keep you safe and sound and hopefully off of those Georgia roads where drunk Kimmer needs to be the only person wearing out Georgia 400. You know where it doesn't snow? That would be Vietnam. Charlie is like much of Atlanta. He has no idea what to do when the cold stuff starts falling.
There's no doubt. No doubt. And Kimmer would know because he's a Vietnam veteran.
He even called himself Drunk Kimmer.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's new. That's
new.
Different. He's never said that before.
And I'm a little concerned about him talking about getting in the car and going up and down 400 and everybody else.
Me too.
What's the traction like in the old Mustang?
Seriously, not good. I mean, it's a rear-wheel drive V8, probably 700 horsepower, like a NASCAR. I mean, that thing's
slip and slide and sloshing.
It is not
Drunk Kimmer. Be careful.
It's not cut out for inclement weather.
He's not wrong about the Vietcom.
No, that's right. Absolutely.
They don't know snow.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to get into some of the school closings. He'll give you the different counties and such. So here we go.
It's 3:06. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Let's start with some school closings. Buford City Schools closed. Carrollton City Schools closed. Carroll County Schools. Hey, I once dated a Carroll once back in grad school, and she was not a very nice person. She would roofie me and take advantage of young Kimmer. Carroll County Schools Virtual Learning Day. What the hell does that mean?
See, he's not familiar with virtual learning days because they didn't have that back in Kimmer's day. It is a newfangled thing.
I don't know if we should allow him to call in and do these kind of reports when he's drinking. I don't know.
I expect this is something that need to be taken serious, and Kimmer's liquored up.
He is horny and drunk.
He told you Carroll County's virtual learning. He's given you the information.
He is.
No matter the other context.
He is.
Talking about forget-me-nots and such.
I just feel like
I was knew a girl named
I feel like this is way off base. I feel like we're doing the wrong thing here with Drunk Kimmer.
I will say that I am happy to know, because I would have thought the reverse of when it came to
that he went after Carroll.
He got roofied instead of Carroll getting roofied. So that's good to know.
Oh, I think
poor Drunk Kimmer.
That one's fine though, because I can only play it at 3:06.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we only play that one time this afternoon. Oh my! There's more?
Yeah. Well, as they start rolling in,
I'm not in favor of this. I would like to point out I'm not in favor of this. I think this is a terrible idea.
We'll keep rolling, giving you the different counties.
That's my fear. I'm afraid.
Good.
I'm afraid he's going to give us the different counties.
Oh, but here we go.
Clayton County Schools. Optional virtual learning for Friday. Optional? With those scores, I'd probably go with mandatory. Dawson County Schools, closed. The Georgia Racing Hall of Fame is located in Dawsonville.
That's right.
And one day, God willing, Kimmer will have his car up on the wall there for all to see. I also would like a Viking funeral.
Is that where they put you on a ship and push you out to sea and then they set it on fire?
Yeah.
Why would you want that? Like, who wants that?
I want one. That'd be
cool. Like a cremation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I want all of you guys to be firing an arrow into my little boat.
That seems very very unlikely to actually happen, because I mean,
then you don't love me.
No, I'm not saying wouldn't try. I'm just
okay.
saying, like, lighting an arrow on fire and actually hitting a target. I don't think I can do that well. Like Joey Jones, he
I'll get Joey to do
can
it.
probably shoot a
I wonder if
compound
Joey
bow.
do that for me.
I think he would.
I think he would.
Yeah,
he's such a nice guy. Now, I do believe that if Kimmer drives today, his car will definitely be in a wall. So be careful out there. Do not drive today, Drunk Kimmer.
Rubbing his racing.
If you want your car in that Dawsonville Hall of Fame,
he might drive right into it,
dude. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
that's going to be the issue.
Here.
Drunk Kimmer is going to drive into the building, and his car will be against the wall, not because it was elected to be put there by the Elliott family.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
All right. Now, in this next one, he needs a little help. A little help from Pete.
A little?
Yeah, he's a little forgetful today. So let's just take a listen.
Fannin County Schools. Your schools are delayed until, what's this word here, Pete? Closed. The word is closed. Speaking of Fannin County, Pete, do you think that maybe Kimmer has just received a bad rap in the female community, and maybe they have conspired to tell stories about poor Kimmer? Do you think that is possible? Forsyth County schools, you are closed.
That's a tangent that I did. And where was Pete? He's calling for Pete. Pete's not even there.
Pete gets this to the point where he has enough of Pete getting drunk. And so,
Kimmer
getting drunk. Yeah. And Kimmer doesn't realize that Pete's not there. He's at his home calling this in. So I think he just talks to Pete.
And then to get off on that tangent about
like his guardian angel
getting a bad rap. He does talk about like Bella, our social media maven. Like he tells her, that her feet are beautiful and
her hair
smells good and all kinds of weird.
Do you think he sniffs her hair? I don't think so.
I'm not accusing anybody.
I got to be honest, man. I'm around Kimmer, and I see him, and he seems like such a gentleman to me. I don't see that side of him. And then, you hear from Bella, about the
and they're
hair
out there.
thing. But I think Kimmer just likes to compliment people and make people feel good.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take you that. But do they smoke together? Because I know, or maybe they vape
together.
Does Kimmer smoke?
No, not anymore.
Okay, but just Bella vapes.
Yeah, he's got those lucky strikes still, though, I think.
Keeps them rolled up.
Yeah, I think he keeps them rolled up in his shirt.
Just like Will Smith.
The white
it's for the look. I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's possible.
All right. Now, this one, he needs... He's with his beautiful blood boy, Flounder.
Oh no.
So here you go with this one.
Flounder, my dear Flounder. Look at me. Can I ask you an important question? Gwinnett County schools are closed, by the way. Thank you for inviting me to your wedding. But can I please give you away at your wedding? I know that is not traditional, but the Kimmer really wants to be there to give you away to Veronica. I love you, Flounder. You are my Flounder.
It's like, what a tangent, man. He's talking about
beautiful thing.
Yeah, but I'm confused and I'm trying to follow. I feel like people listening are probably trying to follow for school closings.
Yeah,
and Kimmer's so drunk that he can't tell us the actual closings.
And Forsyth,
right? Yeah, but. He hit it, but then he goes off on a tangent and you lose like the topic of conversation. Like, why did we bring in Flounder's wedding? Like, what was the point of bringing all that in when we're talking about school closing? We're trying to be
because it's
serious.
coming up. It's a big deal.
This is serious, man.
Yeah.
We got snow falling. Look, if you look out the window right now, you can see the snow that's coming down here at the Battery, Atlanta.
I usually can see Truist Park.
That's right, and now you
right
can't.
field gate there, and I can't see it at all.
It is. There's a white sheen. Over.
I'm excited about that. No, look. Here's what happens with Kimmer. Okay, look. He's
drunk and talk about school closings.
I know, but you know what? He was working, and he feels, of course,
working on a bottle.
Well, but
working on a fifth.
He still did what he was supposed to do. They didn't say how you're supposed to do school closings.
He sort of did it.
Boy, he gets distracted easy.
Let me tell you.
How sweet is that, though? He's going to walk Flounder down the aisle.
That's just weird, dude.
That's kind of weird.
Who asks to give another man away? I've never heard of that before in my life.
There's a show that Kathy Bates was in called Disjointed, and it was one of the funny shows.
That's a good description of what we just listened to.
Yes, and this is what this is about. But one of them is like Taekwon Douglas. He's like a Taekwondo. He's like a little weird, but he gets like this attachment to one of the guys that works for Kathy Bates, and he like starts calling him son and acting like he's his family because he doesn't have his real son or doesn't have a son, and so he's kind of taking on this 20-something-year-old guy and calls him son. I'm going to take care of you, and that's the way Kimmer is. He just loves Flounder and thinks of him as his own son, and he wants to give away his son.
We're talking about school closings. What's that?
Yeah, it's kind of gay.
Separate it.
Hey, love is the most important thing.
Yeah, it is, but I just feel like there's a time for both. Like, you could give me the school closings, and then you could talk about how much you love Flounder, and you want to give him away. That's weird, but you could talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Plus, I'm afraid to keep him too close to Veronica.
No.
Especially if he's drinking, and there's probably
sniffing her hair, too.
And if I know, Joe, tell me, you know Flounder as well. I'm assuming there's an open bar.
Oh, there should be.
Oh, yeah, we can't.
Do you think we're getting invited to that wedding?
No way.
I don't believe
No, we're not.
I don't think so either. I don't think any of us would be
Did I bring it up? And I was like, hey, Flounder, when's the wedding?
No,
he gave the date and nothing, and then he just shut up, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's no way we're getting
Hey, do you need my address or anything? I love a wedding. No, it's fine. All right.
We should get him a present, though.
Yeah, no, definitely want to do that.
But we don't have to if we don't get an invite, do we? But we should still do it to make them feel bad.
No, we need to take the high road. We do the right
Just
thing.
make them feel bad.
I think we should all walk them down
Is
the
it
aisle.
the high road, though, if we're doing it to, like, well, we didn't get an invite, but here's a gift for you and, what's her name? Veronica. Sorry.
Veronica.
Oh, my God, I almost forgot her. I almost confused Cassandra, your girlfriend,
Yeah,
with
don't
Veronica.
mix them up. Goodness, we ain't getting Joey married off just yet.
No,
Are there more school
He won't
closings?
invite us either.
Does he actually get to the school closings?
No, we're done with the school closings. This is just how we're going to finish off this segment, and Kimmer offers the audience a little piece of advice. Okay, so here, take a listen.
The show is coming to an end today, and I want everyone to know something. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. If you get caught in the weather, I want you to know that you can always call Kimmer, and I will come save you. I am planning to saddle my white horse and show up topless to wherever you may need help. Chipper Jones did this last time. Kimmer plans to finish it. Please excuse my hard nipples.
Well, if you take your shirt off,
yes.
like Vladimir
They're gonna be
Putin,
like hot dogs.
You know?
Yeah,
Yes, they will
cocktail
be.
weenies out
Gives you some diamond cutters.
That's exactly right.
Well, you know what, though? That's the kind of hero he is. And, I've always respected the heck out of that Marine and love him. And it never, he is always a Marine. And he will get on that horse and, like a cavalry, come in there with his nipples protruding and save our lives. He might even be able to feed some children.
I would like to apologize for whatever we just did. I would like to apologize. I thought we were doing school closings. I thought we were going to talk about the things that matter, like that there's snow sticking right now across metro Atlanta.
I can't wait till 3 o'clock.
And the fact that it's hitting farther south than expected. There's really nothing incoming in Alpharetta, but where we are, further south,
according to Liam, he wants to go outside and play in the snow with the dogs. So we must have some kind of accumulation up in Cherokee County.
There you go, man.
And if you guys are out there and you see things or what's going on out there, you can be our citizen stringers.
Yes,
call us 404-741-1230. Let us know what's going on out there.
Or even if you have the Extra 106.3 app, down at the bottom, there's the radio reporter.
Yeah, I want to
where
use
you can
that.
just send yourself a voice memo or send us a voice memo, rather. Just record it right in your phone, and it will email it for you right to us, and we'll play you on the air here on Extra 106.3. So, anyway, again, I would completely apologize for I thought we were doing school closings. We got drunk Kimmer. There's nothing I can do about it. So, accept my apology. That's the only thing I know to do.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Fighting Irish will be heading to Atlanta for the national championship after Notre Dame beat Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl 27-24. Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard carried the Irish, even coming back from an injury. He ran for a touchdown in the third quarter and threw a 53-yard touchdown to Jaden Greathouse, tallying his passing yards on the game to 223. With 7 seconds left, Notre Dame kicker Mitch Jeter kicked a 41-yard field goal to seal the 3-point win. The Irish will go on to play the winner of Texas and Ohio State. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers. You know this, I know this. The cold, it's here, all right? It's freezing outside. We're getting snow. It's going to be a wild one. But before you know it, we are going to get that warm weather that's going to roll in. Spring is going to be here. So let's plan on gearing up with Howard Brothers. Howard Brothers' annual Gear Up Day sale is going to be coming up on Wednesday, March 5th. All 7 of their locations across northern Georgia will have this sale. They have the gear to get you ready for that busy lawn season, that work that you got coming up, whether you're just working on your home or you got your company, you need some new equipment. This is where Gear Up is going to help you. Remember, Gear Up for spring at Howard Brothers on Wednesday, March 5th. Find out more at howardbrothers.com/gearup.
Look out. I think your health insurance premiums just went up again. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? Hey, I got great news. If you're tired of those skyrocketing health insurance premiums, introducing Trump Care. If you're healthy and self-employed, small business owner, close to Medicare, even on a COBRA plan, Health Insurance Doctors got you covered. How about saving up to 60% on annual premiums with Trump Care plans? Nationwide PPO network. Let you see any doctor, any hospital, plus 0 deductibles, no co-pays. The best part, plans are available year-round. down. No more open enrollment, no hard-to-get subsidies, no IRS penalties. Oh, guess what? It's free to you. You don't have to pay them to do it. The health insurance doctor for decades, proudly serving the metro Atlanta area. Thousands of happy customers. Here's a free number to get a quote, 678-523-0759. Visit healthinsurancedoctor.net. Here's the number again. Again, there's no charge to you, 678-523-0759. On the web, healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Join Braves Vacations for some exciting road trips to historic cities and ballparks during the 2025 season. Fans can enjoy 3 games at Fenway Park in Boston to watch the Braves take on the Red Sox May 15th through the 19th, or head to Wrigley Field for 3 games against the Chicago Cubs August 31st through September 3rd. Road trip packages include deluxe hotel accommodations, game tickets, exclusive events with Braves team personnel, unique excursions, select meals, optional airfare, and more. Visit Braves.com/vacation to learn more.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Yellow Jacket fans, don't miss your chance to lock in your seat for the 2025 football season today. Next year's home slate is highlighted by the renewal of our rivalry with Clemson, as well as ACC matchup versus Pitt, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech. Into the end zone! Touchdown! Haynes King! All hail the King! Support head coach Brent Key and the Jackets on game day by visiting RamblingWreck.com/tickets to get your season tickets today. Sting 'em.
Xtra 106.3 is proud to be your conservative voice in Atlanta, and we offer a huge slate of original podcasts. Head over to thepodcastpark.com and grab the podcast that you love, all presented by Associated Credit Union.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. The snow is coming down in Atlanta, Georgia. My, oh my, it is.
You got this wrong, buddy.
Buddy, did I ever.
Your wife is sitting there doing a snow dance.
Snow dance. Yeah.
And celebrating the fact that we might get some good accumulation. Right now, I went outside and I looked here at the battery. We got probably about a half an inch already, and it came down real quick, which means the ground got really cold because it started with sleet. So it's going to be really, really important that you pay attention to either not drive today, or if you are, there's probably a sheet of ice underneath that now.
Yeah.
So please be careful.
Just stay home if you can. Let the kids play in it. I want no part of playing in it. I mean, I am no fan of snow. I don't like cold weather. I hate every bit of this. I don't like it at all. Yeah. Like, even, I know it's pretty for about 15 minutes, and I want to go ride the, a little sled down the hill one time, and then be done with it all. And board up, Captain Goey, Virgin Rivers, give me the shape of the L on my forehead.
Because you're a loser.
Yeah, dude, I'm fine with it. Call me anything.
Yeah, whatever.
I should have been born on the equator. How about that? I'm fine with it. I have no desire, no love for snow. I don't care about it. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it. I'd only seen snow, I think, twice in my whole life. When I met my wife, who's from upstate New York, we met while I was serving in the United States Navy, and I went up there during the winter. And the first weekend I went up there, No, I'm sorry. Second weekend I went up there, it was snow. I mean, knee-deep snow. It was freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
It is one of those things. So when I was living up there, I flew into Binghamton, New York, and they get that lake effect snow that you don't even understand. And I'm flying and I'm looking at all the clouds and I'm like, wow. These clouds, like, we're just flying right through them. Then the door opened because at Binghamton's a small airport.
Yeah,
you have to walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Flown
you just
into that place.
landed in this? It's like 4 foot of snow. They're like, yeah, whatever.
That's nothing new.
Binghamton's a funny airport because the guy that helps you get your bags off the plane also, like, checks you in.
Yeah.
And then also runs, like, the hot dog stand.
That's right. But dude, we've driven through Binghamton a bunch, and
it's beautiful. Area.
I believe
Johnson City is.
Yeah, I don't know the area well, like certainly not like you do, but I'm pulling it up on a map so I can kind of get my bearings. So it is kind of southeast of Binghamton, and then well south of Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
And then southwest of Albany, because
it's all lake
we would
effect snow
drive I-80 going to visit. And we would drive. It's a 15-hour drive, and then hit 88 over to Albany and then Detroit, where my wife's
Oh, yeah. Good snow. Albany is like that. It's the capital of New York, which most people don't know, and it's a beautiful little area.
It is gorgeous up there.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
a great little city.
Country
it looks like a
folks.
Batman city to me.
It does, because it's got that half egg thing. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea still.
You have to look it up. You don't know what it is. Just look it up. It's like I forget what that is. My wife would know. She could tell me, and probably calls me a knucklehead for not knowing. Al's in Sandy Springs.
Al
wants to talk about first of all the snow, and then you want to bring up Drunk Kimmer again. I thought we let that go. It just was not. It did not go as I thought it was going to go.
Well, it wasn't. It's not exactly Drunk Kimmer. I might have had a Kimmer encounter, guys, and I kind of want you guys to help me figure out whether or not I did or not. Okay, so. I'm sitting in, shall we say, a lavatory area, and I hear some grunting in the stall next to me, and the next thing you know, I hear the stall door open, and this guy walks out and says, hey, look out, it's only me, it's only the camera.
Well, that would be the dead giveaway.
That's a giveaway. Al, I know this is true. Because this has been a problem here at this station where Kimmer goes into the bathroom, destroys the bathroom. One of our employees and one of our management team saw him coming out of the bathroom, walked in and said it was like death in there. And then Kimmer comes out to try to pretend it wasn't him, and then comes out and tells this whole story of, well, there was somebody else in there before me, and nobody saw anybody else in there before him. And so now he's trying. Yeah, Al, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. I'm sorry.
You know he's a Marine, so when it absolutely positively has to be destroyed overnight, that's
you call the Marines. That's exactly right. And the Navy usually gives them a ride. That's usually what happens. Yeah. What do you think about all this snow, Al? Are you excited about it? Hate it? Somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I get snow about as often as I get a girlfriend. So as I get older, it's not quite that often anymore. But what's really interesting, I'm looking out the window. There's about 8 deer out here, and the snow is piling up on the deer's back.
Ooh.
And you're in Sandy Springs, right, Al?
I'm in Sandy Springs.
You got a crossbow?
No, yeah. I like to look at them. I would never kill a deer. There's enough food in the supermarkets for me.
Yeah. So you're not. Are you opposed to hunting, or you just don't do it yourself?
I just don't do it.
Okay.
He's got one of those big hearts.
I'm also afraid, too. I know Rhino's in the studio, but I'm always afraid, too, if I go out in the woods, I might see him running around in the skimpies, and I don't want that.
That is true, Al. Thank you so much for calling. It's true. Look, we came home yesterday, and Liam was doing his black belt preparation, and so we went to the studio there, finished that, came home, and there were 8 deer. 3 of them in the driveway and about 5 of them just laying on our lawn because they get ready for this too. And Liam is not a fan of the fact that when I look at them, I see meat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because he's like, Al, he's like, Dad, please don't. And I'm like, son, we need this food.
That's right. Do you not know the snowpocalypse is happening?
Yeah.
We've got to have something to eat. This is terrible. What are we waiting on? This is awful. But you know,
you got to thin them out, man.
You do, because they're going to starve to death.
Thin them out.
They will starve to death. There's not enough places for them to live. There's not enough for them to eat.
Genetics is getting messed up too with the way that they keep procreating. It's bad. Question. And we've got a few with some really bad racks, and you can look at the rack.
We've seen it too. Yeah. We've seen it too down in the holler below the house there in Alpharetta. Because in the holler, there's probably at least 10 that are down there almost every day.
Yeah.
And, and I buy the big salt licks and, at Tractor Supply, and then the deer corn bags, 50-pound bags of deer corn take down there to try to keep them fed. But yeah, I'm in favor of clearing them out because that's the humane thing to do.
Yeah. By the way, Kelly Wallace, one of our listeners out there, just posted on Twitter for us that it's starting to come down in Winder and sent us a beautiful picture with the bulldog flag, a beautiful deck. What a nice little, and a big green egg that they probably got at Hobro's, Howard Brothers.
Yes, I bet they did.
Yeah.
If they were smart, they did for sure.
Thank you, Kelly. That looks amazing. And your Christmas tree still looks like it's sitting on your deck, too.
I just saw Wait, what?
Yeah, it looks like a Christmas tree is coming out of the corner of this picture here on their deck.
May want to take that, and have it recycled, chop it up or something. I just saw the Road Dog, and you will hear his name called on our sister station, The Fan, 680 93.7 FM. He is the engineer for all of Georgia sports, football and basketball and baseball.
I don't know what he was thinking coming in.
Well, he just went and grabbed what was at Mike Key's desk, our promotion director. He just went and grabbed the big snowboard and took it with him over to the 680 The Fan studio.
Oh, my God. I would do anything to watch him go down a hill.
I know.
That dude would break his neck, though.
You're exactly right.
I love him, but he would break.
Yeah. No, I think any of us would, though. So what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? 404-741-1230. Al, thank you so much for
it's a
taking
snow
the time
day
to call.
for everyone. It's like having a substitute teacher. We're still going to get into some really important stuff.
Yes, there's some, next hour, we've got a great lineup. We'll talk to David Chanley. He is the chief meteorologist over at Fox 5. We've got Congressman Mike Collins.
Who just got the Lake and Riley passed through the House
and
about to get through the Senate. First bill.
I have no doubt that he is going to be riding high, as he should be, because this is the work of the people. This is the work that people elected him to do and elected in our government to do. This is the change that we want to see in Washington, D.C., getting the work of the people done, and Mike Collins certainly leading the charge in an 18-wheeler, running it up down the road. That's the kind of guy he is. I bet he would shoot a deer. Something tells me he's an outdoors kind of fella.
I think so, too.
Outdoors kind of fella.
Yes, sir.
Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Stay safe, stay off the roads. The snow, it is coming down here at the Battery, Atlanta, as we look out the windows, and it is a beautiful scene. I don't like it. I don't want any part of it, but it's here, and we'll do our best with it. So coming up next, Fox 5 Chief Meteorologist David Chanley to tell us what to expect with Cobra Cora. Yeah, that's right. And the snow that is invading Atlanta, Georgia, and the metro Atlanta area. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3. The Neil Bort Show on the Morning Extra.
Feeling real sadness about the situation with Jimmy Carter. I look back with great fondness at the time that Donna and I drove down to Plains and took him for a hot air balloon ride. This was right after he left office, and the fun part of it was the Secret Service was not at all fond of this idea. We show up in Plains, and we have some other friends with balloons because we thought it would add to the experience for him, that while he was flying with us, he could look out over the hills and what have you and see other balloons in flight. So we show up at the launch site. Here's Jimmy and Rosalind. She's a delight. And the Secret Service walks up and says, Mr. Bortz, this is Agent so-and-so. She is the lightest field agent we have, and she's going to ride in the basket with you. And I say, really? Well, then either we have to take all of this communication out of the basket, these communication radios you put in there, or Mrs. Carter can't go. And Jimmy looked at Rosalind and the Secret Service said, she'll ride in the chase car with Mrs. Bortz. So we take off. I've got pictures of this. This is we take off, Jimmy, Rosalind, and me, and we're flying over the fields outside of Plains, and there's gunfire. Because it's hunting season.
Well, it's Plains, Georgia.
They're down there hunting. We're flying along in the balloon, and he leans over the basket and yells down there, "Hey, it's Jimmy!"
I love it.
Mr. President, we have 40 gallons of raw propane in this basket. If somebody shoots at it and hits one of those, it's going to be the biggest fireball that South Georgia has ever. So he shut up at that point.
Yeah, good enough. You need to tweet out some of those pictures at Talkmaster, or tweet out some of those pictures so people can see them, because that's an incredible story.
It's the Neil Bort Show with the Morning Extra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3. This is Atlanta's new home for Fox News. Extra 106.3 FM.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
And if you really think about it, technically, corn dogs are just beef Wellington in a different tax bracket.
Beef Wellington. Well, kind of.
Think about it.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
This hasn't happened before. Sentencing day for a former president about to return to the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
They can have fun with their political opponent. As you know, I'm under a gag order from a judge. This is the first. This was an attack.
President-elect Trump calls the case a disgrace, but he also said he respects the Supreme Court's ruling refusing to block sentencing next hour because the justices suggested he appeal the convictions, which Trump plans to.
The court said, quote, the burden that sentencing will impose on the president-elect's responsibilities is relatively insubstantial in light of the trial court's stated intent to impose a sentence of unconditional discharge after a brief virtual hearing.
Fox's Eric Shawn. Outside the New York court, Trump was convicted of falsifying business records in 2016 payments to keep an alleged affair quiet. Now today, the Supreme Court will consider TikTok's appeal 9 days before the social media app could be banned in the U.S. under a law passed last year mandating TikTok cut ties with its Chinese parent company over concerns about surveillance of users and Chinese manipulation of TikTok content. The wildfire disaster keeps getting worse in the Los Angeles area.
5,000 structures destroyed here at this Palisades fire. So far, 2 people have died in this fire, 10 people in total in these L.A. County wildfires.
Fox's Bill Malugin, surrounded by charred ruins in Pacific Palisades.
Every single house on this street is destroyed on both sides of the street. And every single street we've passed by looks like this.
Another 5,000 plus homes and buildings have burned in other fires. And this is making the firefight tougher.
L.A. County Super Scooper aircraft that are so important. There's only 2 of them. One of them is now grounded because it was struck by a civilian drone out here at the Palisades fire.
A storm that dumped almost a foot of snow on Texas has canceled more than 2,000 flights today. Many to and from Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, and Nashville, as much of the South gets a dose of winter. America's listening to Fox News.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. Pure Talk gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service, all for half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Talk to save an additional 50% off your first month. Pure Talk. America's wireless company.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288.
You may have seen the Bortz billboard all across town. Let everyone know Bortz is back and his new home is Extra 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. When weather gets sideways, I always turn to Fox 5 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist David Chanley and a damn good dog, too. David, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Tug, Rhino. What's going on? Hey, it's snowing. Anybody tell you that yet?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
See it, sir.
It's been brought up a few times. People were calling on the telephone, as you might imagine.
Well, it's just funny, we talk about it, and then when it starts happening, I get texts and calls from buddies going, hey, it really is. I'm like, well, no, duh. I mean, what do you think I've been telling you? Come on, let's go.
Am I right about this, David? Usually when the snow that actually, comes to Georgia and Atlanta and in North Georgia comes up from the south, is that the way that it actually works, or is that just a myth that I've been told my whole life?
Well, that's where the moisture comes from. The key that we have to have here to have snow like what's going on right now, we had to have the cold air in place. There's so many times that we'll have the moisture coming in. You say, well, can the cold air get here? Can it chase in? Can it? No. This was a pretty good setup to have the initial onset of precipitation, snow. And I think what you've seen now is you're looking around the metro area, folks to the west, to the northwest, to the southwest have been getting it a whole lot longer this morning than the folks up to the north and to the northeast. And so, we're still getting folks, up towards Milton and Cumming and Forsyth County and up the I-85 corridor. They're going, hey, where's our snow on it? I'm like, well, hold it. It's coming. Just look at the images we got to the west, and it came down at a pretty good rate beginning early this morning. And with the roads and ground, at or below freezing, it started sticking immediately. And so that's why we're starting to get these accumulations that we're seeing. And that's going to continue for a little bit. This is just, if you want to play football, this is the first quarter. So we got a ways to go.
I'm looking forward to it. The great David Chanley joining us here on the Morning Extra. And, how do they know? This is what always got me. A few weeks ago, we're sitting here and we get this report that, come the 9th or 10th, we're going to get this huge storm. And Tug right away dismisses it, saying we're not going to get one.
It's because it never happens. It never happens. I'm born and raised here. It never happens.
How do you get that model so far in advance and know that this might be coming?
Well, here's the thing: is we've had those models for a while. It's the public getting a hold of them that is makes our job difficult, because modeling is we've been doing AI and weather forever, right? It's artificial intelligence. What's going to happen in the future? And the further out you go, the broader the net. And so when you have the big net, it sometimes will latch on to extremes and then pump up that extreme. So if you remember, like what Tug was talking about, 2 weeks ago, he said, hey, we're going to get 12 inches of snow in Atlanta, and then the next run would come in and be like no snow in Atlanta. But what it does is it picks up on pattern change, right? And so we look at the overall pattern and then dive down in what the specifics and the particulars are going to be. And we get closer to the event, we can really dial it in. But anything out more than 5 days of talking about a snow event, you just can't work on amounts. You can't work on things like that. That's too far out. Now, once we got within about 72 hours and some of our higher resolution models can start picking things up, then you start deciphering, and the experience and knowledge of scenarios of what's going to happen. That's when the human element comes in as far as forecasting.
Goodness. So what can we expect? What because I'm looking out the window here at the ballpark, at the Battery Atlanta at Extra and Dickey Broadcasting, and it looks like a movie scene out there. Look, it's beautiful. I'm not a snow fan. I'd rather it be 100 degrees and 100% humidity, but it is coming down. What can we expect for levels?
Well, now that it's begun, where you have snowfall, you're just going to cut. As it keeps falling, you're going to get higher totals, right? And so we'll wait. We'll see here as the morning goes on at what time we start getting a bit of a changeover. I'm thinking some areas where you are there at the Battery and points to the north, and maybe a little bit later. Folks further to the south, it'll be probably late this morning, right around lunchtime. The problem is now is anything that starts falling out of the sky that's not snow, it's going to freeze on the layer of snow that's there. So we're concerned about some ice accretion here this afternoon. And then once you get past late afternoon, what's going to happen? The temperature is going to fall again. I mean, when I say the temperature is going to rise, there is a difference for us between 32 and 34, right? Sure. If something's 34 degrees, that's not good. I'd rather keep it below freezing and just have the snow event.
Sure.
It's the ice that really worries me later on today.
How much does drought and lack of rain that we've had here for the past few months play into the ground being able to accept this water, accept anything that was earlier today?
Yeah, it's not so much that it's the soil temperatures. It's more the temperature, and I was checking that yesterday. Up across North Georgia, it was right around freezing, even the soil temperature. At night. Now, in the daytime, it warms up. Same with the pavement. It was wild watching the road sensors last night. Like up in extreme North Georgia, at one time the road temperature, during the daytime, got up in the 30s. Quickly, it was down into the 20s. Once we hit nighttime. Well, there you go. That stuff's going to stick on there for sure.
Man, I got my place in Hiawassee. We were thinking about going up, but that's probably a bad idea. They don't have any snow right now. I'm checking the cameras, 0, but is that coming pretty good?
Yeah, it'll come in. Yeah, it'll come in. A little bit later, and will last longer.
Hey, I'm seeing and hearing that 75 is already closing down, and we're getting reports from some of our coworkers that their cars, on the side of the road or off the road on Cobb Parkway. So, I mean, this area, which is, densely populated, folks need to be extra cautious, stay off the roads, and just be safe. It just seems to be the right decision today.
Well, we said that. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I think sometimes also, we played up, and they do a great job. The GDOT people, they're doing what they can do and talk about brining the road and doing this and that. Well, when you get this rate of snowfall, I mean, the brine's not going to help right now.
Yeah.
The brine would help in the freezing aspect of it early on, but now at this rate, and now Mother Nature has taken over. And so now let's just hunker down and then deal with it once it stops or lets up. I'm glad I spent the night here at Fox 5. I found me my own little chalet. Own nook.
So we're talking, David, about hey, maybe we need to leave a little early here, but does it matter at this point, or should we just hold out until our show's over at 10 and make a decision from that point?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think so. I think I would hold out for a while. I would. It's because, hey, look, if something happens, who's going to come get you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Holy cow. You're exactly right. Yeah, it's a mess. What are the biggest concerns, David, do you think? Is it trees? Is it power lines? Is it a combination? What's the biggest concern that you see with this, because we don't experience it very often?
Yeah, well, the first concern is roads. Then number 2, let's see how much. In fact, here I'm going to look outside right now. I'm going to open up a door. I'm going to give you a live reporting. So it's coming down pretty good.
It's the man on the street, David Chanley.
That's it, on the street. Well, I'm not going outside. I can't stand it.
Me either, by the way.
So I'm looking at trees and so forth of, once you get some snow on those, and if you get any ice accretion, and that's some weight, all right, then later on today, the wind's going to pick up. And so that's my concern of weighted tree branches and wind, and then that falling over on power lines that already have maybe some snow and ice on them. So the concern for me first now is roads. Down the road, it's power.
Yeah. That's a mess. It might be a mess.
Those frozen power lines are a mess all the time, especially in storms.
What about tomorrow, David? What are we looking at for Saturday? Obviously, most people will be home, and it won't be as big a deal when people will be out and about. But what can we expect for tomorrow?
Well, the precipitation, I think, is going to be ending around midnight here in town, maybe a little later than that up in the mountains. And then we just get what we call the wraparound moisture. We may squeeze out a few snow showers early on tomorrow, but it's not additional, accumulation. The big concern is tomorrow morning, I got overnight lows and below freezing still. So anything that's out there, when you start your Saturday morning, nothing's changed.
Okay.
We probably won't get above freezing for an extended period of time here in the metro area until, say, 10, 11 o'clock Saturday morning. We're going to have a brief window where we see temperatures maybe in the mid-30s. I'm hopeful that by after lunch we get some breaks in the clouds and we get a little sun, and the sun will help in some melting, well-protected areas not so much, and then we get another big refreeze. In fact, Sunday morning is going to be even colder.
Oh, no.
So, areas that are, I think about neighborhood streets, I think about things of that don't get the treating, don't get so forth, that they may be socked in for, till Sunday.
And Governor Kemp has declared a state of emergency through Tuesday. I was surprised by that. Rhino actually, pointed out was like probably for the reasons you just gave us.
Yeah. Well, if you don't get much melting and temperatures below freezing, it's not going to go anywhere.
David Chanley joining us here on the Morning Extra. This is perfect snowball snow right now. Will that maintain throughout tomorrow and Sunday so we can have snowball fights with our kids and stuff?
I think so. There's a lot of moisture, in that snow, and then you saw the big flakes. Even though the air is fairly dry, the moisture is, coming up out of the Gulf, so it's got some moisture to it. Yeah, I would think so. Now, what changes that would be that layer of ice if we start getting some freezing rain. Then it makes it kind of crusty and not so good for building your snowball or snowman.
There you go. David Chanley from Fox 5, chief meteorologist over there. I tell you, man, I can't believe you've been there for 10 years.
I know.
10 years you've been the chief meteorologist there.
Yeah. Been in the market since 88. The longest running guy on the air. That either makes me, I don't know.
The best.
100 years old or not.
Yeah, well, whatever.
It makes you very experienced. We'll go with very wise and experienced. How about that?
Well, that does, seriously, that does help. It's nothing that I really haven't seen, so I can hopefully impart that wisdom to the team. And we got an awesome one here right now. Joanne and Alex Forbes on the air. Good Day Atlanta doing a bang up job. So I'm just sitting around with a cup of coffee talking to you guys.
That's
right
awesome.
Now, so,
how much has the technology changed? Doing radio, I used to do the 8-tracks and the carts and all that and tape, and now everything's digital. How cool is all the new stuff that you're having to learn all the time as we advance with this technology?
Yeah, well, it's the computation of the computer modeling of how quick that can turn around. We used to have to wait, 12 hours to get a new model run, and then it went to like 6, and now we've got models that update hourly, and even sooner than that on some of the high resolution stuff. So you're able to get a better handle on it. But as I tell people, that information is only good as the information going in.
Yeah,
and And then still things happen and things are different. Like right now, why is it snowing like crazy there at the Battery in Windy Hill? But friends up in Milton are going, wait, where's our snow right now? And then it may be snowing harder at the Battery, and then you go out towards Powder Springs and it's not as heavy. So. Yeah.
Where's the sun?
Things.
Can we get to the sun?
You just can't see it.
Man.
It's hidden. David, thank you so much for taking the time, and want to wish nothing the best, but for you and your wife and 2 daughters and those grandbabies too. How they doing?
Well, I just got the picture. They're in Marietta and they're in the snow playing, and they're they're happy that Pops came through and they're
delivered. They're giving you credit for it. I love it.
This is a win for you. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a win.
Yeah, my son is now a college baseball player over in South Carolina, and your sweet wife Lynn, gave me the best advice, and maybe even the first time I'd met her years and years ago, and she said, "Tug, the days are long and the years are short." And I'd never heard that before. And she's like, it won't make sense to you now, but one day it will. Yep. And by golly, that is the most wise thing that was ever said to me. And I always credit her when I use that and give it to other people.
I'll relay that message. That's
Please
awesome.
do.
Well, the new one now is being a grandparent. The great thing about it is that you only have to worry about today.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
Yeah.
And that's the funnest thing because I don't have to worry about their future, their college, their blah blah blah, braces, whatever it might be. It's just, hey, what are we going to do today? Let's go do something.
Let's do something fun. That's exactly right. David, thank you so much for the insight. Thank you for the expertise. And if you want to know about weather, make sure that you are watching Fox 5 and Storm team chief meteorologist David Chanley. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, yep. Well, likewise, y'all be careful and just if you can, just enjoy it. Sit back and don't travel if you don't have to.
There you go. Thank you, David Chanley. Have a great day, man. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. It's always good to talk to David.
God, he's awesome.
He is the greatest.
I'm like such a fanboy, too.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
I love all the meteorologists, and, there are a lot of them out there that are so great, but David's always been one of my favorites, and, just to get to have him on and talk to him and ask him ridiculous questions about wet snow and snowballs is so much fun.
That's exactly right. So good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if many people realize this, because David is a graduate of the University of Georgia. And he was a student trainer and a member of the 1980 National Championship football team. With Buck Ballou over across the hall, Herschel Walker, and all the great folks from that 80 National Championship team. But yeah, it was a student.
We should have got more in, asking him about Carson Beck entering.
Absolutely. You know what? We should.
You know what? We got to do that. We got to keep doing that with Mike Collins is coming up
in just minutes. Yeah, that's exactly right. But because that game last night was, I went to bed probably a couple minutes into the second quarter. But I will tell you, I am a fan of the Notre Dame coach. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And have been for a while. But the more I see of him, the more I like him. And there's just something about him that and it was interesting. They brought up, I think, the first African-American coach to coach in the national championship or something like that. I forget what it was. And he was like, man, this ain't about me. It's about the team.
I love that.
What a great answer.
Yeah. Why do we have to break it down? I mean, this is just getting tiresome at this point of, the first this, the first that, the first Jewish person to do this, the first blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
How about the first American?
How about the first
How about a guy that has coached his team up? And he's a guy that brought back, and please help me with this if you know. So I guess Notre Dame had stopped doing chapel or whatever, and he brought that back. Now the team go and still does chapel there at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I find that to be the most impressive thing that he's done. If they go on to win the national championship, the most impressive thing he's done is getting those boys back in the chapel.
They're going to get their butt handed to them.
Probably so.
By either Texas or Ohio State.
Or Ohio State, probably so. Most likely.
What do you think about Texas's chance tonight?
Not good.
I don't, man.
I think Ohio State's winning
hot.
it all.
Well, they've been sitting for a minute, though, but they look like the best team in the country right now to me.
They didn't earlier, but
I'm hoping for an SEC surprise now.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We can ask Congressman Mike Collins about it toward the end because there's so much more important things to get to. He is responsible for the Lake and Riley Act. U.S. Representative Mike Collins joins us next on a snowy day in Atlanta, Georgia. The Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Well, okay, nobody wants to know this, but so I'm in the men's room. I take, I do the number one thing there. Okay, so then I walk out of the men's room, turn to my right, I take about 2 steps. The fact I haven't mentioned to you yet was that when I went into the men's room, there was a guy in there and about to leave, and I'm telling you, the stench in that men's room was unbelievable. It was a coworker? I didn't recognize him. I think he works down the hall. It made my eyes water. It was so horrible in there. And I exit the thing, and I turn to the right and take 2 steps, and there's a guy coming down the hall behind me from 680. So he thinks I did it. I made oh my God. And I just couldn't stop and say, by the way, it's really bad in here, but I didn't do it. I'm going to tell them. Well, I
am not responsible for what's in.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth, or they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. Atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. Atlantasmiles.com.
When it comes to protecting your assets and ensuring peace of mind, trust the expertise of Nelson Eldercare Law. Our Absolute Protection Trust is designed to provide unparalleled asset protection. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to discover how our specialized services can safeguard your family's future and assets, offering you the assurance you deserve. NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. When times get tough, where do you keep your stuff? Answer, in a quality safe from the Safe House, of course. Don't go to a big box store and get a fake safe. That would be as effective as Joe Biden's fake border policy. For over 30 years, the Safe House has been providing the best quality safes on the market. Brands like Browning, Fort Knox, and Champion. And with the largest selection of safes on display in Georgia, we're confident we can help you pick the right safe to fit your needs. So drop by our huge showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. We are in snowpocalypse mode here in Atlanta. Just about to talk to Congressman Mike Collins. Let's get the headlines first with our buddy Rhino.
All right, here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Friday, January 10th, 2025. More sleet and less snow is the latest forecast for the metro Atlanta area. And if you're looking out the window, you know it. The winter storm began in the state of Georgia this morning at 5 a.m. with sleet starting to fall in West Georgia. Forecasts still call for less than an inch of snow in Atlanta, but it looks like it's starting to pile up to about 2 inches in surrounding areas. The winter storm warning is in effect till 7 a.m. tomorrow. Governor Brian Kemp, along with other Republican governors, met with Donald Trump last night at Mar-a-Lago to discuss energy, immigration, and other federal policies. Kemp, who was recently elected chair of the Republican Governors Association, returned late last night to continue preparations for this winter storm. And in business news, Amazon has announced that it plans to spend at least $11 billion on a new data center here in Metro Atlanta. Amazon Web Services said it will be making the investment in facilities in Butts and Douglas counties. Amazon says the project will employ at least 550 workers. The projects combined would likely rank as the largest corporate investment in the state of Georgia's history. With your headlines, Scott Rhino, Extra 106.3.
Yes, sir. Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra as we see the snow is just coming down here at the Battery Atlanta at Truist Park, and we welcome Congressman Mike Collins to the show. Mike, how are you, bud? Are you staying warm?
We're trying to, yeah. We got a little wintry mix here.
Where are you? Where's here?
D.C.
You're in D.C.
Are you in D.C.? Okay.
Yeah. Well, you guys got a big vote. You guys got a big vote coming up today, so you had to be there. First of all, congratulations. I know in March you already got the Laken Riley Act through the House, but the Senate put it down. Again, you get it through the House, more people getting involved, and hopefully this will get passed through the Senate today.
Yeah, well, they won't take it up today. And actually, I'm in Georgia. I came home.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's
trying to. We won't be back up there till Monday, and as far as I know, the Senate won't be either because I saw senators at the airport. But yeah, we've had a very good week. It's been an amazing ride in Congress, and to bring up the Laken Riley Act is the first bill that the 119th Congress voted on, and not just voted on, but passed it overwhelmingly, and with more Democrats and bipartisan support this time around than last time. I think people understand this is a bipartisan problem out there. This ain't just a partisan, and this is not just a messaging bill or a political bill. This is a pure, good piece of legislation that is law enforcement legislation. So, we started whipping the Senate side as soon as we took the vote on the House. I'm a firm believer, man. The job ain't done till it's signed, till the paperwork's done.
Do you feel like, Mike, that Democrats genuinely see the value, and I hope that's the case, or are there some of them that just see the political winds changing in the direction of common sense, and they're like, man, I better get on the right side of this, even if I agree with it or I don't, whatever it is, but politically it's smart for me to do. Do you think that's some of it too?
Yeah, I think it's an all of the above approach. I mean, you look at the ones that are up for re-election in the next 2 years, and they wouldn't have anything to do with this bill last year. Told me they wouldn't have anything to do with it. And then look at that this time around. And the thing is, Lake and Riley was February 22nd. And how many more incidences have we had with major crime being committed by these freaking thugs that have crossed our borders illegally? They came over here illegally. We put them. We put a roof over the head. We even sent them all over the place. Gave them travel money. Gave them food. Gave them clothing. And you would think that somebody that you set up fully like that would assimilate to your country. Well, they assimilated all right. They brought their trade with them. It's called criminal trade. And until we get it in our heads that we can't contact ICE until something major happens, you just keep slapping their hand on the back of the hand and give them a citation for shoplifting? No. Why should we as American citizens put up with crime in this country until something major happens, and then we can call ICE? By the way, we had a murder here, or we had a rape, or whatever it is. Yeah. You need to come get them. It's a common sense piece of legislation, and I think it was just an all of the above approach. There's always been a saying, my dad always had, and it's very true. There ain't nothing that happens in that town up there major until the American people demand it. And I've had pastors texting me. They were texting me before that Senate bill, Mike, what do we need to do? And I just simply put back, find your U.S. Senator's number and call them and tell them what you want them to do.
That's so important here in the state of Georgia, Mike, because, there was a mandate. There was a mandate, and we said we are done with allowing our borders to be open, our American citizens to be unprotected, every single American citizen. We have 2 senators here, John Ossoff, who we might be able to get to actually vote for common sense legislation like this, but the other one in Raphael Warnock, I am really, really ashamed of the fact that these people don't see the importance of protecting their constituents.
Well, maybe they're okay with crime happening in their neighborhoods or happening in their state, especially by people that we don't have to put up with it. We ought to be able to call ICE and tell them, listen, well, the guy endangered a minor, now he's down here shoplifting. Pick this rascal up, detain him, process him, and kick him out of this country.
But, Mike, I'm confused, and help me understand the thought process of the last 4 years in these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states going and against the will of the American people. That's what elected Donald Trump in a landslide, gave him the entirety of the government in 10 days. That I don't understand where they came from ever on this. It never made sense to anyone, and yet the news media ran with it as if it was the right thing to do. And there still are some hangers on. I think the folks in Denver and in Colorado were saying, we don't care, we're not cooperating, we're not going to do this. You got Tom Homan said, yes, you will. We will find a way to make sure you're cooperating, or we will go around you. Yeah. It never made sense. I don't understand how we ended up here to begin with.
Well, they were in a race. Everybody saw the economy going down anyway, but they started this back as soon as Biden took office and reversed all those executive orders. They were in a race against time. They felt like if they could get enough illegal people in this country and then set them up to vote, that we couldn't outvote them. But this time around, and I have said this so many times, the Republican Party was organized from the local, from the district, the state, and the national. We were mobilized, and we got out, and the American people got out and voted. And we made sure that people knew how to go vote, where to go vote, and they couldn't outrun us. and we won the race. We won it overwhelmingly. And the other reason, they thought that if they could win they couldn't win it because we outmaneuvered them and we outplayed them, but they also couldn't outrun this economy. But that was their whole plan. There's nothing that doesn't happen up there without a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind everything.
Mike Collins joining us here on the Morning Extra. With this bill, there's a lot of Democrats that are going out, throwing out these ridiculous statements. Rashida Tlaib, who just gets worse and worse every single day, throws out the example of, well, what if a DACA recipient and a group of friends goes out and one of the kids takes a candy bar? He will be deported and his entire family. Talk about the ridiculous reaction from the Democrats.
Look, if we had DACA criminals, you would have already seen that. Those people grew up here. They've got paperwork to go to school, go to work. We know who they are. Mm-hmm. If they get arrested, they should be arrested. They should be cited. They should be charged. They should be and have their day in court. But these illegal the people that came over here illegal, that are committing illegal crimes, that are criminals, we know they're criminals. Heck, when they picked up Iber and his brother, the tattoos even told them.
Yeah.
Venezuela gang. It's apples and oranges, and people like her. She just needs to keep talking. I hope she keeps talking and talking because they are shrinking in their numbers over there, and the squad's going to be down to one person here, I think, for long.
It'd be a lonely squad, a bit of wolf pack.
I don't even know how they stay on there.
I don't either. Let me ask you about the head of ICE. When the man said that the Biden administration should have been cracking down on illegal border crossing much earlier, they knew it, ICE knew it, and the Democrat Party knew it. Biden and the administration knew it, and I know they did this on purpose. There's no doubt about it. But that's the thing. You have everybody now on record saying that it should have happened. It didn't happen. And Biden acted like he didn't have the power to do it. Then he went and did make some executive changes and executive orders to tighten down the border. And things started slowing down, slightly at least. But they tried to blame it all on Trump for, sinking the Senate bill that was useless and pointless and needless when Biden could have done this the entire time and chose not to.
Yeah, it's funny. You say Biden did this and Trump killed the Senate bill. The Senate can bring up anything they want to. Mm-hmm. They can get around whatever they want to if they need to. But all these people that are coming out of the woodwork now, that's just CYA. Yeah. I mean, this stuff's going to come out. President Trump has already said he is going to release all the info. He wants the American people to know what's been going on in this previous administration and what's been happening to the American people. And I look forward to seeing it. And that's why you're seeing these people. Man, we better cover our rear ends right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll do it because you know what? That's what we've been waiting for 4 years here. And we've known about the Biden crime family and some of the things that they've done. So we do need to have all that. And that's why the Democrats are so afraid. And you know what? Some establishment Republicans should be scared about some of the truths that are coming out. Can we talk a little bit about what's going on right now with the idea of Greenland, the Panama Canal? First of all, I understand it. What I am afraid of is there's something else going on that we need to go ahead and protect this country more than ever, especially our borders. There's something else going on. Is there information out there about what these drones were, number one? Number two, should we be scared of what China is doing right now, especially with the Panama Canal? And is that why we need Greenland to keep us safe here in this country?
I think it's all of the above. We don't really know what those drones, I guess y'all must have seen Pete Ducey last night talking to President Trump and all the other governors. Yeah. And how many other governors stood, weighed in and said, hey, we've had drones flying over our state too. We've had drones flying over this facility. So we need to find out about that. That's one of the things that Trump said that as soon as he got in, he was going to start releasing information. The bottom line is the number one enemy of the Communist Chinese Party is and always has been the United States of America.
Yeah.
And we have got to look at this from America first. I don't care what it is. And whether it's Greenland, Canada, Panama Canal, which, we built and paid for that blame place.
Yep.
And then
my mama
President 39 gave it away.
Let me tell you, my mama, God bless her, my whole life, she has told me Why in the world would we do that? And let me tell you, Mike, my mama didn't realize that she wasn't a Democrat until about 6 years ago. And so my entire life, she has said, I don't know why in the world we did that. That makes no sense to me. And this was under Jimmy Carter, who she adored at the time anyway, because she was a Georgia born and raised Democrat. That's what she was. And my daddy was the exact opposite, Republican as could be, Reagan Republican, and I gravitated toward him because it made more sense. But that's the thing. Even as a Democrat, when my mama was, she said that never made sense to her. She's like, I can't reconcile it. I don't know why we would do it. It is infuriating. And maybe that was what, pushed her in the direction that she is now. Thank God that she is a Trump Republican. But that's the thing. It never made sense. Why in the world would we do something like that?
No, but I will say this. I guarantee you, President Trump is 3 to 4 moves ahead of us.
Yeah.
That man's way ahead of us. He's already figured. He is a expert at playing the chessboard and moving.
Yes, sir.
He sure is. Now let's ask Dusty Johnson yesterday introduces the Panama Canal Repurchase Act. How did that go, and how did people respond to that?
Yeah, he introduced it. I saw he was looking for he was looking for co-sponsors and all that. We're going to look at that thing when I get back. I have been so laser focused on getting justice for Lake and Riley that I saw it on my list of things that came up for co-sponsors. I thought it was pretty cool. Actually, you kind of get envious. You wish you'd have done it.
Right. It's a good bill.
That's right. Absolutely. So back to Lake and Riley, just because that's where we started as we start winding down a little bit.
Yeah.
We feel good about it getting through the Senate and this just being a done deal.
The Senate is the Senate. I've never seen them move this fast. It's kind of weird. It would be nice to have this laying on President Trump's desk when he sits down on the 20th. And for a young lady that all she wanted to do all her life was help save lives, to have her name attached to this piece of legislation, which will save lives, will help her name live on forever. And that alone, those two bits of information, I could not understand why you'd vote against this.
Absolutely. No way. Mike, let me ask you one last question. Not really happy with Mike Collins and the way he performed at the end of the Biden administration and the end of the 118th Congress.
I said Mike Collins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez, not Mike Collins.
Hey, now.
I love Mike Collins. Mike Johnson. Sorry about that. The Speaker of the House. He gets through. First vote. It took a little bit of maneuvering, and we eventually got it done. We've been told that the assurances are there that he's going to work for the people, and he's going to continue to work to make sure that we're not spending money and not giving in to Democrats when it comes to spending our taxpayer money. Should we trust that he is going to be a man of his word? I believe him as a conservative. Will he be able to get these things done that we need done with control of both the House and the Senate?
As long as the Republicans stick together. We have been working on reconciliation for a year in hopes that we would get the trifecta. And we did. We've got things already lined up. We know what we can put in reconciliation. The last time we did reconciliation, Paul Ryan and them flipped it, and they went with Obamacare first instead of doing the economic plan. That way, and most people didn't see the benefits of the economic plan until after the midterm elections, and the Republicans took a bath on that. We got killed, and then we spent the next 2 years going through impeachment. They've got this worked out.
Yeah.
Everything is there. We're not just engaging two committees. We've got every committee looking at reconciliation, what can and what can't go in it, and we don't deliver. We don't deserve to be there.
Yes, sir.
Amen to that. Mike, thank you so much. God bless you for what you do.
Mike Collins, not Mike Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I love.
Sorry, Mike.
I love the way Congress would say,
I trust you.
Now.
I trust you.
Hang on now.
Hey, somebody called me senator yesterday, so,
Hey,
I'll take anything.
That's it, man.
Well, good. You get a vote in the Senate then, too?
That's right. Absolutely. Go there and help those
Let's
fools.
take them all.
Mike, thank you.
I asked where my desk was when I was over there. I was over there for most of the afternoon yesterday whipping that vote.
There you go. Keep whipping them up.
Absolutely. Thank you for
you,
what
sir.
you do. Thank you for representing Georgia, and thank you for joining us here in Atlanta
safe.
on the Morning Extra. Definitely stay safe. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Terrific dude. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a great
one of the
guy.
good ones.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't really trust that Mike Collins. And I'm
Seriously, I thought you were about to set him up for a joke. I thought you were about to, set him up and hit him with the joke that I didn't know that was coming. I was like, all right, where's this going?
Yeah,
he was like, hang on.
Oh, God.
Whoa, now.
No, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson,
that's
please.
Right. Exactly. Because we
don't trust that dude sometimes.
Yeah. Well, look, I think they had to shake him a little bit. They had to shock him a little bit to get him. Because he's so used to the status quo, he's so used to doing what the Democrats tell him to. Yeah. Now he doesn't have to. He's like an abused child or something.
Absolutely.
You have to get him back on track. So anyway, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com, the website. We will continue with the Morning Extra next as the snow falls in Atlanta. We'll keep you posted on anything and everything that happens here at Atlanta on the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
The Fighting Irish will be heading to Atlanta for the national championship after Notre Dame beat Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl 27-24. Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard carried the Irish, even coming back from an injury. He ran for a touchdown in the third quarter and threw a 53-yard touchdown to Jaden Greathouse, tallying his passing yards on the game to 223. With 7 seconds left, Notre Dame kicker Mitch Jeter kicked a 41-yard field goal to seal the 3-point win. The Irish will go on to play the winner of Texas and Ohio State. For Extra 106.3 Sports, I'm Joe Virgin.
As the snow falls down in Atlanta, you know your house is going to be facing the most difficult task of being warm. And what is that task? That is the work of your HVAC. How do you make sure that your HVAC works properly and is able to keep your house warm even as the snow and ice falls down in Atlanta, Georgia? Well, you call Central Heating and Air Conditioning. It's that simple. I wouldn't lead you astray when it comes to this stuff, man. You know how much I hate the cold. Man, I want it to be 100 degrees and 100% humidity. I wish I was born on the equator, not in Northwest Georgia. But the one thing I do know for sure is that if my HVAC isn't working, I'm calling Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and I want you to do the same thing too. And here's the thing. If you need a new Carrier system, like you need a brand new system, they can get you one and give you a $2,000 rebate. But if you have a system that just needs maintenance to operate correctly, then they can do that too. Or they can work on any system that you have. You call them right now, 770-GET-HEAT, or go to centralheat.com. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now, I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or VanSantLaw.com. eldercarelaw.com.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Expect President-elect Trump to pardon more than 1,500 people charged with crimes after they stormed the Capitol more than 4 years ago when Congress met to certify the election results on January 6th, 2021. The probe of the Capitol riot is the largest federal investigation in U.S. history. GOP Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene lamented that some of those convicted have been sentenced to years in jail. More than 1,200 people have pleaded guilty or been convicted after trials in connection with January 6th. More than 650 received prison time ranging from a few days to 22 years. Police officers who defended the Capitol are especially incensed about possible pardons. Many officers were beaten, some with their own weapons, as they tried to hold back the mob. 140 officers were injured on January 6th. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan supports some pardons, but not for those who committed violence. Congressional Democrats warn that the pardons could have far-reaching consequences, both for the rule of law and the security of the country. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
The Morning Extra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and the Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
Tug Rhino and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. The snow is coming down in Atlanta, Georgia. My, oh my, it is.
You got this wrong, buddy.
Buddy, did I ever.
Your wife is sitting there doing a snow dance.
Snow dance. Yeah.
And celebrating the fact that we might get some good accumulation. Right now, I went outside and I looked here at the battery. We got probably about a half an inch already, and it came down real quick, which means the ground got really cold because it started with sleet. So it's going to be really, really important that you pay attention to either not drive today, or if you are, there's probably a sheet of ice underneath that now.
Yeah.
So please be careful.
Just stay home if you can. Let the kids play in it. I want no part of playing in it. I mean, I am no fan of snow. I don't like cold weather. I hate every bit of this. I don't like it at all. Yeah. Like, even I know it's pretty for about 15 minutes, and I want to go ride the little sled down the hill one time, and then be done with it all. And board up Captain Goey Virgin Rivers give me the shape of the L on my forehead.
Because you're a loser.
Yeah, dude, I'm fine with it. Call me anything.
Yeah, whatever.
I should have been born on the equator. How about that? I'm fine with it. I have no desire, no love for snow. I don't care about it. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it. I'd only seen snow, I think, twice in my whole life. When I met my wife, who's from upstate New York, we met while I was serving in the United States Navy, and I went up there during the winter. And the first weekend I went up there, second weekend I went up there, it was snow. I mean, knee deep snow. It was freaking crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
It is one of those things. So when I was living up there, I flew into Binghamton, New York, and they get that lake effect snow that you don't even understand. And I'm flying and I'm looking at all the clouds, and I'm like, wow. These clouds, like, we're just flying right through them. Then the door opened because that Binghamton's a small airport.
Yeah,
you have to walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just landed in this? It's like 4 foot of snow. They're like, yeah, whatever.
That's nothing new.
Binghamton's a funny airport because the guy that helps you get your bags off the plane also, like, checks you in.
Yeah.
And then also runs, like, the hot dog stand.
That's right. But, dude, we've driven through Binghamton a bunch, and
it's beautiful.
I believe
Johnson City is.
Yeah, I don't know the area well, like certainly not like you do, but I'm pulling it up on a map so I can kind of get my bearings. So it is kind of southeast of Binghamton, and then well south of Syracuse. And then southwest of Albany, because we would drive I-80 going to visit when we would drive. It's a 15-hour drive, and then hit 88 over to Albany and then Detroit, where my wife's
from. Good snow. Albany is like that. It's the capital of New York, which most people don't know, and it's a beautiful little area.
It is gorgeous up there.
Yeah, it's a great little city. It looks like a Batman city to me.
It does, because it's got that half egg thing. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea. Still.
You have to look it up. You don't know what it is. Just look it up. It's like I forget what that is. My wife would know. She could tell me, and probably calls me a knucklehead for not knowing. Al's in Sandy Springs wants to talk about first of all the snow, and then you want to bring up Drunk Kimmer again. I thought we let that go. It just was not. It did not go as I thought it was going to go.
Well, it wasn't. It's not exactly Drunk Kimmer. I might have had a Kimmer encounter, guys, and I kind of want you guys to help me figure out whether or not I did or not. Okay, so I'm sitting in, shall we say, a lavatory area, and I hear some grunting in the stall next to me, and the next thing you know, I hear the stall door open, And this guy walks out and says, hey, look out. It's only me. It's only the camera.
Well, that would be the dead giveaway.
That's a giveaway. Al, I know this is true because this has been a problem here at this station where Kimmer goes into the bathroom, destroys the bathroom. One of our employees and one of our management team saw him coming out of the bathroom, walked in and said it was like death in there. And then Kimmer comes out to try to pretend it wasn't him, and then comes out and tells this whole story of, well, there was somebody else in there before me, and nobody saw anybody else in there before him. And so now he's trying. Yeah, good. Al, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
You know he's a Marine, so when it absolutely positively has to be destroyed overnight, that's
you
what
call the
Marines
Marines. That's exactly right. And the Navy usually gives them a ride.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens. Yeah. What do you think about all this snow, Al? Are you excited about it? Hate it? Somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I get snow about as often as I get a girlfriend. So, as I get older, it's not quite that often anymore. But what's really interesting, I'm looking out the window. There's about 8 deer out here, and the snow is piling up on the deer's back.
Ooh.
And you're in Sandy Springs, right, Al?
I'm in Sandy Springs.
You got a crossbow?
No, yeah. I like to look at them. I would never kill a deer. There's enough food in the supermarkets for me.
Yeah, so you're not. Are you opposed to hunting, or you just don't do it yourself?
I just don't do it.
Okay.
He's got one of those big hearts.
I'm also afraid, too. I know Rhino's in the studio, but I'm always afraid, too, if I go out in the woods, I might see him running around in the skimpies, and I don't want that.
That is true, Al. Thank you so much for calling. It's true. Yeah, look, we came home yesterday, and Liam was doing his black belt preparation, and so we went to the studio there, finished that, came home, and there were 8 deer. 3 of them in the driveway and about 5 of them just laying on our lawn because they get ready for this too. And Liam is not a fan of the fact that when I look at them, I see meat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because he's like, Al, he's like, Dad, please don't. And I'm like, son, we need this food.
That's right. Do you not know the snowpocalypse is happening?
Yeah.
We've got to have something to eat. This is terrible.
Yeah.
What are we waiting on? This is awful. Yeah. But you know,
you got to thin them out, man.
You do, because they're going to starve to death. Thin them out. They will starve to death. There's not enough places for them to live. There's not enough for them to eat.
Genetics is getting messed up, too, with the way that they keep procreating. It's bad. Question. And we've got a few with some really bad racks, and you can look at the rack.
We've seen it, too. Yeah. We've seen it, too, down in the holler below the house there in Alpharetta. Because in the holler, there's probably at least 10 that are down there almost every day. Yeah. And, and I buy the big salt licks and, at Tractor Supply, and then the deer corn bags, 50-pound bags of deer corn take down there to try to keep them fed. But yeah, I'm in favor of clearing them out because that's the humane thing to do.
Yeah. By the way, Kelly Wallace, one of our listeners out there, just posted on Twitter for us that it's starting to come down in Winder and sent us a beautiful picture with the bulldog flag, a beautiful deck. What a nice little, and a big green egg that they probably got at Hobro's, Howard Brothers.
Yes, I bet they did.
Yeah.
If they were smart, they did for sure.
Thank you, Kelly. That looks amazing. And your Christmas tree still looks like it's sitting on your deck, too.
I just saw. Wait, what?
Yeah, it looks like a Christmas tree is coming out of the corner of this picture here on their deck.
May want to take that, and have it recycled, chop it up or something. I just saw the Road Dog, and you will hear his name called on our sister station, The Fan, 680 93.7 FM. He is the engineer for all of Georgia sports, football and basketball and baseball.
I don't know what he was thinking coming in.
Well, he just went and grabbed what was at Mike Key's desk, our promotion director. He just went and grabbed the big snowboard and took it with him over to the 680 The Fan studio.
Oh, my God. I would do anything to watch him go down a hill.
I know.
That dude would break his neck, though.
You're exactly right.
I love him, but he would break.
Yeah. No, I think any of us would, though. So what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? 404-741-1230. Al, thank you so much for
it's
taking
a snow day for everyone. It's like having a substitute teacher. We're still going to get into some really important stuff.
Yes, there's some, next hour, we've got a great lineup. We'll talk to David Chanley. He is the chief meteorologist over at Fox 5. We've got Congressman Mike Collins,
who just got the Lake and Riley passed through the House and about to get through the Senate. First bill.
I have no doubt that he is going to be riding high, as he should be, because this is the work of the people. This is the work that people elected him to do and elected in our government to do. This is the change that we want to see in Washington, D.C., getting the work of the people done, and Mike Collins certainly leading the charge in an 18-wheeler, running it up down the road. That's the kind of guy he is. I bet he would shoot a deer. Something tells me he's an outdoors kind
I
of
think
fella.
so, too.
Outdoors kind of fella.
Yes, sir.
Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Stay safe, stay off the roads. The snow, it is coming down here at the Battery, Atlanta, as we look out the windows. And it is a beautiful scene. I don't like it. I don't want any part of it. But it's here, and we'll do our best with it.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.